Gentlemen No Class is proud to be a part of the HC Universal Network. Gentlemen No Class is produced, mixed, and edited by M5 Studios.
This podcast contains explicit language and is intended for adult audiences. The views and opinions of Gentlemen No Class are strictly for comedic purposes and should not be taken literally. For instance, like this disclaimer. Now grab yourself a pint and enjoy.
Welcome to another episode of Gentlemen No Class, a podcast when the going gets weird, the weird turn pro. I'm Jake.
I'm Paul.
And I'm Rob.
And like it or not, gentle ladies and gentlemen, we are the hosts of this podcast.
Yes,
So,
and today we have three special guests, Mike, Brian, and Taylor from Thee Armada. Say hello, fellas.
Bueno.
Hello.
Yeah, there it is. Okay.
In case you don't know who the Armada is.
You probably
Yeah.
don't.
Yeah,
You don't.
those jerks. We're from Houston, obviously, and they made they had a nice fan base in the Houston area.
They had a good run.
Yeah. You guys were on top of the scene for like in the late 2000s. You guys were. It seemed like you guys were in the
Yeah.
local scene.
Oh,
you
for
know.
sure.
We were. We
Or
hustled,
maybe.
we hustled harder than everybody.
In my mind, we were. Yeah,
we did.
In my
wasn't-
eyes, it seemed like you guys did. I don't. To me.
there wasn't a. No, nobody worked as hard as we did.
Yeah.
There you
That's
go.
all you had to do, and nobody did it.
Y'all
Right.
were the most successful band that I personally knew, so, I mean, that's saying, not much, but still, it's something.
Rob doesn't have a
you
big
do know
circle
the
friend.
Deftones, so
Yeah.
I give you
I
that.
stood in line for an hour to get that autograph.
Oh, yeah.
I had a Tom DeLonge autograph that I stood in line for 2.5 hours for him to look at me like I was retarded.
that's how you know you're close friends with those guys.
Yeah, we're buddies.
And like $100 out the hole,
Call
right?
people. No, right.
Taylor, don't
No,
go on that
I
shit.
didn't-
Fuck
I didn't
that.
Pay,
I know
no,
where
I
you're
did
going
not pay
with.
for the autographs.
That's not what he was going
Do you
for.
remember me? It's like how most people go, like it's name dropping. Like, oh yeah, I'm friends with the Deftones. It's like, oh yeah, how do you know? Well, I waited an hour in line to get in. And they
I hung out in the same room for like
No,
2 hours. with
usually
them.
you don't say that side of it. It's always just like name drop. Yeah, oh yeah, me and the Deftones. Yeah, we're cool.
Yeah.
Just trail off.
Hope
Can you
they change
elaborate
the
on that?
subject.
No. No. So yeah, current events. What do you fellas got?
What happened? There was something happened with there was some movie I wanted to talk about. Talk about the polar vortex, and I'll try to remember what movie I wanted to talk about.
Oh, Taylor.
And Taylor.
I was just
Taylor?
giving you
idea?
ideas
You sound
of
like
what
you know
could
what you're
talk
talking
about.
about, though.
Okay,
No,
with
you
the-
can't throw out an idea and not
the
have
polar
someone back it
vortex.
up.
I can attest to it. I was in it actually.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Recently.
By Taylor.
Over the weekend.
Yesterday it was colder
I
in
was in
Chicago
Chicago.
than it was in Antarctica.
Oh, wow.
No shit.
Literally, in
Oh, they were saying there's colder parts in Chicago that colder in Antarctica. Yeah.
Well,
There's
it's summer in Antarctica right now, so
regardless.
Really? Oh,
saying.
that far up the hemisphere?
well, it's opposite
Opposite,
hemisphere.
yeah,
so.
that's true. That's true. Good point.
But there's just videos going around of kids with, taking the pot of boiling water off of the stove, going outside and throwing it up, and it turns into
That's
powder
a-
instantly.
Yeah, that's
If that
fucking
gives you an
cool.
idea how
So is this
cold
like
it
the
is
first
right
time it's ever been that cold, or is this like making history here, or is it...
I think it's getting close.
It is for Chicago. Actually,
Yeah.
it's the coldest week on record in history.
fast.
Oh, wow.
No, in ever. It's
God
the coldest,
damn.
it's
Global
the coldest
warming.
it's ever been. I was in Chicago over the weekend actually for my grandmother's funeral, unfortunately. But that's what they were saying on the Chicago news is that it was like the coldest it's in to date. This is the coldest Chicago.
Are people
has
still
Yeah.
going to work and shit?
They're telling people not to. That's for sure. But people still wear that
Because if it starts to sleet just a little bit in Houston, like everything shuts down.
Yeah,
They're
we freaked
used
the
to it.
fuck
They're,
out.
they're used to the amount of snow. They didn't get a ton of snow. It's just freezing cold.
That's crazy.
Didn't
the
the
day
river?
after
Didn't the
tomorrow.
Chicago River freeze too?
Oh yeah,
It did, yeah.
big huge sheets of ice.
They're saying like Michigan is freezing over. That it's just like they said like when you can't go out for more than 5-6 minutes because the wind chill hitting your skin, it starts to you'll
like
start
negative 50 is
Instant
what they're
frostbite.
talking about. Is
yeah,
what it feels
yeah,
like, right?
it starts to burn
Shit.
your skin like
Instant frostbite.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Shit.
Somebody said, "Is that negative 50 Fahrenheit or Celsius?" It's like, does it matter?
Yeah.
At that
Yeah.
point,
There's
There's
a negative in front of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
It's cold.
One is a lot
Shit.
colder than the other, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, there's Super Bowl weekend this weekend.
Oh yeah, no shit.
What's
I forgot
that?
about that.
Super
I don't even
Bowl,
watch
yeah. I
fucking
mean,
that's
sports,
kind of
so
a
I
big
could fucking
deal.
care less.
Did you do Super Bowl squares?
Nah, I'm not running any.
What are you, fucking 14? Get the
Hey,
fuck
man.
out of here.
Man.
Fucking
That's money.
squares.
They do
Yeah,
that.
hey man,
It's
that's
just-
money on the line, bro. $125 a quarter.
I know,
You know,
the older I get, the more I gamble, and the more my wife gets pissed off
Oh,
at me.
I could.
So,
damn.
I spent $20.
Dude.
The guys at the body shop so one of the guys I work with was telling me like, hey, the guys at the body shop that he used to work with at Toyota used to do 10 squares, $1,000 a square,
Jesus.
$100,000.
That's
Fuck.
ridiculous. That's just
So that's like the second time they did it, the guy that was holding the money fucking took off. Like, he bounced like the day before the Super Bowl.
All right.
oh, wow.
Let's
I mean,
go.
Well, I mean, if you got $100K of somebody else's money
straight
and no way to
cash.
trace it, and it's all cash, bye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. Yeah. He did the right thing. He's a human being. He's good.
He proved to those guys that they're dumbass.
Yeah, for real. So, all right, I remember the movie that I wanted to talk about. It was the trailer for Hobbs and Shaw.
Yes. That's yes.
Oh, my
Have you
God.
guys heard?
I
about
saw
this
that trailer today.
Yes,
and
it is.
I was laughing through the whole thing. I was
But
like, what?
I had to
This is
stop it at
ridiculous.
1 minute because I just couldn't take it.
It's
Yeah,
a spinoff from Fast and the Furious. It's
Yeah.
The Rock's character and
Jason Statham.
Jason
Statham,
Statham's
yeah.
character doing
Yeah.
like a buddy cop movie.
do
Yeah.
those movies still make money, like the Fast and
Oh,
Furious?
fuck
Yeah,
yeah, dude.
fuck yeah, they do.
They
got-
wouldn't be
There's
on
an
the
audience.
They
Now
wouldn't-
they don't have to pay Paul Walker. Fuck yeah, they make money.
I don't think I saw past the third one, honestly.
They're
Yeah.
on like 9 or 10.
I know.
Yeah, it's at 9 or
7.
10.
yeah, 9 or 10.
They, I read a while back, Universal wants to make because like I saw the spinoff coming. I just didn't know what story they're going to choose and what characters. But they want to compete with the Marvel universe, so they want to have a bunch of spinoffs of
Jesus
different characters.
Christ.
Like this sounds terrible. I don't know. This I lost interest after
Like
part
bootleg
4.
new characters they're making up?
Well,
Like,
no, just like the characters that are already established from previous ones.
okay.
Like already, like right now, The Rock and Statham's character. That's one right there. So who knows what they're going to venture off next? And I just don't want to see it.
Who's winning in the cheesy action hero actor? Is it The Rock or Jason Statham?
Dog, The Rock.
The
is
Rock
on top
is-
of everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
dude.
think
Oh,
so.
over the top, like cheap.
Like
he's
shit.
he's hammering the Rock home, boy.
Yeah.
I'm telling
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
I mean, did you see Jumanji? I didn't see Jumanji.
I saw
no.
Jumanji.
That's all-
Yeah.
It's not terrible.
But I mean, he was pretty terrible, and I'm sure.
No, he's actually
The Rock
You know
is
what?
cool. I like. I mean, he's a
He's
cool
pretty
dude.
sure he's just terrible at it.
I have to say, like, I'll probably get a lot of flack for it. You know, for what he does, like, The Rock's pretty fucking
Nah,
good at
nah,
it.
he's
No, he's
not.
really good at it.
He's funny.
Great
and
promo.
he's
Really good.
Got
at it.
some range.
What about when he played the Tooth Fairy?
Oh my god,
Did you
that.
like him in that one too?
What about the check that he
Yeah,
got when
you
he was
get
done playing the
Or the
Tooth
Scorpion
Fairy?
Very true.
Oh, the
yeah.
Scorpion King.
It's kind of hard to talk.
Oh
about.
my god, that was just.
Scorpion
I
King
walked
was
out of that
whatever.
fucking movie.
No, you didn't. Don't fucking lie.
As soon as I saw him,
You were probably beaten
like
off
he was,
in that movie.
he was fucking killing those ants with
like-
his chin. I'm like, I'm out of
He was
here.
probably like the most.
I got up and
naked
left.
He's ever been in any movie. You were loving it, man.
I didn't know that. I would have stayed. Oh well.
I've never
Walking
walked
around
out of
in
a movie
loincloth
before.
and shit.
Yeah, if I'm paying for a movie, I'm staying. Hate it or
Right?
love it, I'm
I
staying.
did. You know, I did that to another movie. That movie, The Proposal, with Ryan Reynolds.
Why,
And
you went and saw
You
it in
also
theaters?
Yeah.
snuck a bottle of
I did-
liquor into a kid's movie in the middle of the
This is
day
true.
with Raph.
This is true.
I'm just sad that you actually
But-
saw that in theaters.
No,
man.
but here, like, there's 5 minutes left to the film. I was like, I couldn't take it anymore. I left.
wasn't
5 minutes left in the film.
Yeah, I was like, fuck this. I had
What,
enough.
did you have to
Then
take a
you-
shit?
yeah,
That's why you
No,
left?
no.
Then
My
you didn't take it then?
tolerance of the bullshit of the movie reached.
bullshit. He was trying
I
to
had to
beat. He
go.
was trying to beat traffic. That's all it was.
No, your tolerance of alcohol broke through and the shakes started coming.
Yeah.
Like,
You had to.
Yeah. I had to
goddamn
go,
it.
man. That shit was
You
just
probably just had rubbed it raw at that point.
Yeah.
It was like, it's time to go.
Yeah.
It's getting painful.
Forgot the lubricant.
When's the next Deadpool movie?
I gotta get out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Need to go watch like Matilda now or something.
Flick Matilda.
Oh damn! You give him a flick, Matilda? Is that what you said?
I don't know. That's
Okay, Brian's back.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, there.
Awfully quiet there. Watching a little video there.
Yo.
Is there going to be another Deadpool?
That
I
thing's
know.
making so much money for them. I
I'd be
can't imagine why
surprised
there
if
wouldn't
they
be.
didn't, yeah.
Yeah.
Why not?
Well, yeah.
So,
sorry
will
to
be.
cut you off, but the 69 Tekashi 69 rapper pled guilty to 9
Oh yeah,
counts of that thing that he was caught up in.
good for him.
Good for him.
Well, yeah, he pled guilty and he's going to cooperate with the cops, so he's probably going to be.
Snitching.
Is he in prison? He probably pled
He's
guilty
looking
because
at-
he's tired of getting pumped in the ass every day. is what's-
Oh, he was in like a special holding.
That's not going to change.
From what I've read, he wasn't in like general population or anything.
Wait, is he gay?
No, but
Okay.
in prison everybody's gay.
Right. Okay, I thought he was. And
Man,
he was
talking
gonna
like
do
you've
it.
been there.
If they can hold you down long enough, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't go into prison with rainbow hair.
Yeah, a guy like that,
Rainbow
I can
hair,
only
yeah.
assume is pretty in prison.
God
At least
damn.
they won't kill
Fucking
you. They'll
clown.
just stick you another way.
He's got a big 69 tattooed on his fucking forehead.
man.
That's who you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's him. What
that's
you thought we were
good,
talking
dude.
about?
Who'd you think I was talking
I
about?
didn't even know. I was just laughing about it because this
my
guy's a
God.
dumbass. But it's that guy. That guy is good. That guy should not be on the streets.
Nice.
He's definitely not making music
Oh
anymore.
my god, dude!
I didn't even know he was making music. I thought
Why
he was like
would
a
he?
YouTube sensation.
He had,
dude.
like-
Right before he
Yeah,
got
he's a
arrested, dude,
SoundCloud
he got
rapper.
He had one hit
stupid
song.
big. Like, not
Really?
even- well,
That's
he
crazy.
put out a song with Nicki Minaj.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
And it was just like,
Tyler, sing it for us.
I don't know how it goes.
Sing
I
it
just,
for
I
us.
just, I read.
Oh, David, let's hear
Dude,
it.
I can remember. I
I think
peruse
it
through
goes
Facebook
Gucci,
and I
Gucci,
can read the
Gucci,
headlines
Gucci,
and
Gucci.
see what's going on. I
Yeah,
just,
that bullshit.
And it's
yeah.
like-
And
And you give me millions of dollars for that bullshit. Effort, fucking. Oh,
he was huge. I mean,
Or it's
really
Nicki
does.
Minaj.
He
how
was
she
on that.
raps
He
mumble.
was on the
She, like,
way.
mumble rap shit. She doesn't even say words.
Nicki Minaj.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Half of her
No,
shit.
she's
is,
The ass is what sells, man.
Yeah.
Nicki Minaj is actually
think.
you. I can show you a video of her before she turned before Cash Money turned her into who she is right now. She was
Skinny.
from New York. Oh no, like tomboy wearing a hoodie and talking super
that.
Bronx
Yeah, I've seen
accent.
that. Yeah,
like
yeah.
really legit rapper.
wow.
saying
But they saw what she they could do with her.
Have you
Manufactured.
Have you seen
I
A
don't
Star
believe you.
Is Born? God damn it.
Nah.
I know you have.
I have. Yeah. I
I'm
mean,
sorry.
I haven't actually. I wanted to see that. I can tell you the truth.
Same
I
concept.
haven't seen it.
Yeah.
Oh, it is? Okay.
But yeah.
It's a remake though from like the
Yeah, but the
Yeah.
Judy Garland one. Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, I think it's
Barbra
older than that.
Streisand.
There was one for Judy Garland too. So I guess it's
Oh,
like
it's
a triple
like three?
remake.
Why are you looking at me? I don't
Damn.
fucking know.
I'm looking at you because you're wearing a cheer shirt. That's all. And I like it. I was going to pay a compliment, but fuck you now.
Should I call you out on wearing a fake Nautica polo like if Josh
Yeah,
was here?
Josh.
It has that breathing technology. It's very, very, very awesome.
Well, I mean, are you a big Judy Garland fan?
No, that's I don't know.
I don't know. Sound like he was offended, I think, right?
No, I was
Yeah.
like, why are you looking at me like I should know the answer to this
Obviously,
question?
you love. I mean, Woody Harrelson.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, who doesn't love Streisand musicals?
Jesus. Not me, man. I think I'm
Kind of like
past that
Hootie
shit.
and the Blowfish.
Oh,
Hey, there's nothing wrong with Hootie and the Blowfish. I got
Hootie.
tickets to go see Hootie.
I got tickets for Weird Al, man.
I do got tickets to
You
Weird
did?
Al also.
Oh,
yeah.
I'll be there too.
Oh, yeah.
Me and my
All right,
dad.
me and Melissa are going to be
What?
there. Cool.
Ultra Cliff, yeah.
So you redeemed yourself when you said the Weird Al. When you said Hootie, I was like, damn it.
Oh, yeah.
That's why you're the
Hootie-
weakest
It's
link.
Hootie and Bare Naked Ladies.
Several blowfish.
Oh,
Yeah, it's been what?
It's been what? I got that. Yeah. It's been 1 week since you looked at me. No.
Spencer says what?
That's pretty fucked up. It's been 1 week. Since
you want me to say what? Like I don't get it.
Who was who was the
We're not
flagpole
worthy.
sitter?
We're not worthy.
Was that Harvey Danger? That was Harvey Danger.
Yeah, flagpole sitter.
Blackwell
yeah.
Sitter, yeah. I think it went. American Pie all the way. So is that it for current events?
I
Or?
think that's it. We can get
Yeah,
down to
I'd
the meat
like-
potatoes.
I'd like to
Fuck
throw out there a
potatoes.
thank you to Eureka Heights Brewing.
Yes.
For free
Yes.
Oh,
beer.
thanks for
Oh, yeah.
reminding me, Mike. This
Yeah.
is our first official episode
Cheers
being
to
of
them.
our
Eureka Heights.
I don't
yeah.
drink.
so
Buckle Bunny.
we're down at some Buckle Bunny
Getting Lucky Cream Ale.
courtesy of Eureka Heights, one of our new partnerships and friends. We put
Who's
some
almost
stuff
done
done.
with?
yeah.
Who's almost done with their first beer?
I'm on my fourth.
I'm
or
already
fifth.
done.
Well, I
Why?
mean, I'm gonna open one and taste it.
Yeah, if you don't like,
Yeah, go
take
ahead,
it, take it. I'll knock it out whenever you're done.
So a big shout out
Sampling
to
it.
Evan over at Eureka Heights. We've got
Thank you,
ongoing
Evan.
partnership going on with them. We got a lot of good stuff coming up over there.
Yay, nay.
So
great, yeah.
y'all
Yeah.
be on the lookout. We got some. They've got some events we're gonna go drop in on. They're helping us set up this big event we've got going beginning of summer. So
Oh yeah.
it was kind of a natural partnership. We really love everything that they do over there.
As in
They kind
drinking
of
beer.
get us, and we get them. So
Oh, yeah. If you've never been to Eureka Heights, I do recommend going over there.
Absolutely.
You take the kids over there too, and
Yeah.
it's very fun.
great beers. Well, we were over there the other night. We were drinking They have.
Did they do that steak night every? Remember, y'all did.
Oh
the
yeah, I
trivia
don't
or something.
know. They have a food truck out there almost every night.
Yeah,
they had
different one.
they had a pork butts food truck out there when we were there on
Right.
Wednesday.
Oh, I know Bud still.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
yeah,
That
that
one-
Thursdays. They were doing a steak
When-
night
when-
on Thursdays
them,
with actually a friend of mine, the chef Daniel Atai, who owns
Well,
a
no,
restaurant
that's
called
why I
Yong.
saw your
Oh, yeah.
your brother was there.
Yeah,
That's right. That when we did that that show, that shit was great.
Yeah.
Oh, my
boy,
God,
My
man.
boy Daniel was out there
Yeah.
cooking steaks on Thursday nights,
Nice.
promoting his new restaurant Yong.
Yeah, his shit was good.
What's
man.
that? Right? He's like a Brazilian cook or something, right?
Korean.
No,
he does Korean.
Tomato,
Oh, yeah, okay.
He's half Hispanic, half Korean.
Damn.
Well, he didn't look it.
He doesn't really.
so that means he doesn't deserve to do a Brazilian, though, right?
No, he doesn't. No,
He's not
he doesn't.
either, so don't. Count.
It was the
not
steaks
true.
were the steaks were great.
Yeah,
Yeah, they were fucking amazing.
The
man.
steaks were good.
Steak
He
and
used
eggs,
to be
man.
a
It
head
was
chef at Del Frisco Steakhouse. He
really?
knows his way
Oh,
around
so he
some
knows
steaks.
how to cook a fucking
Yeah.
steak.
Yeah.
What's the
Very
name
nice.
of the restaurant he's opening?
Yong.
Yong.
He opened it over at Finn Hall downtown. You should check it
Shameless
out.
plug.
Yeah.
It's a rad food hall with a bunch of
Very
people.
cool. Very
Very
cool.
awesome. How do you spell that?
Yong. It actually
Yong.
stands for dragon in Korean.
Liar!
I don't know about that.
It's named after his mom, actually.
Oh,
very cool.
Very cool.
Okay, I guess it's.
Shut the fuck up.
Don't shit on it now, Taylor.
I guess it checks out.
But if you're a fan of IPAs, Eureka Heights, Mini Bosses, and
yeah.
Space Train are my favorites.
That tastes. It tastes really good. Like
Space
3 or
Train
4
is
seconds
amazing.
after you've drank it. The
This
aftertaste.
is
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
it lingers.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Buckle Bunnies are real
I
easy
believe
beer
they
to
won
drink.
some
so.
awards with this one, actually, with Buckle Bunny.
Did they? You know what? We
either
didn't
a
get.
GABF award, or I can't remember what it was. But
We didn't get any. We got to reach out to Evan and get some background on that. We were over there. I had a glass of Nuke the Whales, which is like
oh, that's good stuff.
12 or
Nuke some of
13.
the whales.
Is that the milk one? Or?
Yeah,
No,
that was
that's like
the
a-
Imperial Milk Stout.
Yeah.
Oh, I couldn't even finish it, man. That shit was.
It was good, man, but yeah, I don't
They
think it
do
was
a
a little
coffee
heavy.
bean. They do a coffee bean cream ale that
Oh,
they
the
have
Mexican
on a small batch.
something.
Yeah, the Mexican jumping bean. It was Buckle Bunny, but with like a coffee flavor. It was really light. It wasn't dark at all, but it had like a real strong coffee flavor to it. It was really good.
Yeah, that place is awesome.
Yeah,
It is.
we love Eureka
yeah.
Heights. I'm glad.
yeah.
I'm glad that we got an ongoing partnership going on with them. So, all right, down to the meat and potatoes of the episode.
Meat and potatoes.
Yes, sir. Now, fellas, make it a little easy. Just start off with, how'd you guys get together?
Well-
and, find each other, and how did that come to be?
This is a story about some boys.
Oh, from Texas? Anything? Yes, sir, Rick?
I gotta go.
Why don't we have a snare over here? Like,
Sorry about the
We can add that
do you
in
have
later.
sound effects you can throw in? At
Yeah, I'll add
certain times?
those in on post.
Yeah.
I wish we had them like live. We could hit them.
Yeah, we were talking
Each
about...
person should get their personal sound.
Okay, so
oh yeah.
we wanted a soundboard, and Paul has been fighting me on a soundboard for months.
What's your
And
take?
now
What's your take,
It's
guys?
happening for sure.
I think soundboard would be great.
It just could compromise.
You should
Be
be able to hit all
organic.
kinds of random goofy shit.
Right?
Yeah, but
just reach out and be like,
but
didn't.
My
like,
compromise is like,
something.
if we're gonna do it, be original. We create the sounds.
Yeah.
Don't steal and
Well,
just
then do
piggyback.
that.
I'd
I'm
rather
down-
do
I'm down
that.
with
I'm
that.
cool with that.
Yeah.
That's one.
There you go. Did you get that? You
Yeah.
got that?
Oh yeah, all this is recorded. Bro. This is all for posterity. I can make all kinds of stuff.
Let's take just to wind it back.
Yeah.
How did you guys form as
Yeah.
a band?
I guess I'll take it. Well, it kind of actually started with one of the other members that's not here at the moment, Brian Shelton.
My man.
He started looking to set up a group. He reached out to Brian Smith. They started kind of jamming. I
And
believe
Brian
in
Shelton
Brian's
plays
guitar. He was guitar. I believe they started jamming in Brian's room, and then started looking for a bass player, and found me through some mutual friends. And then I remember coming over to Brian's house, and we're sitting in his bedroom, like he's on this tiny little kit in the corner of his room. Brian's like shoved in the corner, and I'm like, I bring my equipment in. I'm like, holy shit, like we're actually about to practice in here or try to. He was like, all right, here we go. So we kind of like.
When was this?
Holy shit! 2000, early 2006 or 7, 2005, probably. Yeah. All right. Not okay. Early 2005. Is when we started setting all
Sounds
up.
about right.
Yeah. Around there.
And then
it was mid.
and then I believe it was Brian Shelton again that reached out to Taylor. They went way back, and so we were like, hey, let's get another guitar player. I know this guy. bringing Taylor came up. I think we had a room at Rhythm Room at that point.
Were you wearing pink
Yeah.
pants then?
were-
Also,
It was. I was wearing.
God damn it.
Several pink pants.
What was I wearing?
You wearing those big gulp shoes?
Well, no, at
too?
that time,
No, you
I
weren't
had only.
large tongue.
No,
shoes?
no.
I think the Justin boots.
That
or
was
something.
later though.
That was later.
Okay. Later.
So I mean,
It
like,
was in a weird transition.
I'm kind of
Yeah,
making
yeah,
a long
yeah.
story short here, you know. But,
Yeah, no.
no, take the long road, man. We
Yeah.
want to hear the details.
Well,
you know what I
the
mean?
details aren't to where we're at. The details aren't. There's not really nothing. It's,
Well, I mean, there's
the details kind of kick in with when we were looking for a singer. That's when
Yeah.
that was a longer road.
Right.
So was
yeah.
there any?
That seems to be.
And we have some funny stories to
Yeah.
tell about.
Yeah, but-
Yeah, I was gonna say
finding
like
the
how
right
long?
singer.
No, but before that, was there?
some Taco Bell before I came up with-
And I could taste
Yeah.
it, you know, because it's like the draft is my direction.
Wait, what'd you
Fuck,
say?
I'm
I
hungry.
was like, I tasted the draft is in my direction.
Oh no, he was.
Oh,
He was
Jesus
quoting
Christ,
somebody.
man.
No, but that was a joke. But no, was it like the first time y'all practiced and like, bam, you're in, or did y'all try out other members before you even decided to look for a
As we
singer?
were putting it together, no, it was really just like if it was a
click.
fit for like bringing Taylor in if he was comfortable. Like at that point, Brian and I were comfortable. You know, we were
Right,
We were
right.
like we'd already kind of written some like a couple of just like demo tunes.
I think there was three.
Yeah, three I guess.
3 songs written that Brian came and showed me at my house, and then like the next day I came out
Yeah,
to Rhythm Room. Yeah, there was already a studio.
Well, the funny thing about
Yeah.
this too is, the introduction that Brian gave us about Taylor, because we hadn't met him yet, was just like, yeah, I got this friend. He's real kind of shy. He might kind of be offstandish a little bit, and but he's a great
Might be
guitar
a
player,
dickhead-ish.
a great guitar player. And we're like, all right, cool. So he comes down. I mean, at that point, Taylor was probably a little bit more offstandish to new people at that point than he is now, but. It was whatever. We clicked,
Right.
It wasn't a problem. We got in there. We just started jamming. It made sense. It was cool.
Yeah.
So that was
Yeah,
that was the band. From then, we started writing tunes. We wrote a little set, and we actually played some instrumental shows while looking for a singer.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think I
we
went to
did
some of
that
those
too.
shows.
That's one of the.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the struggles is as a band. Like that's the hardest thing. If you don't have a singer from the beginning, like the struggle is finding the voice of the band.
You want to get your music out there. I mean, you're excited and shit. Yeah.
I mean,
We played an instrumental show at the fucking
A Jet Lounge.
A Jet Lounge, yeah.
We had a vocalist, but he couldn't make it, and we had to do without him. Like
he
fuck
ghosted us.
We played one at
so.
Sidecar Pub. We played one at a high school
JV.
auditorium.
Yeah.
it. Damn, no shit.
Oh, nice.
Random places,
Cywood.
man.
Oh, I think I
Cywood,
remember
yeah.
that. I remember
And
that.
it was just, I remember I was getting on the mic, like, hey,
It was a hand-
We're looking for a singer, but we're going to play some tunes for you,
Yeah.
We played quite a few instrumental shows.
Yeah, I played like Java Junction. You remember Java Junction?
Yeah.
Any new coffee house that
Yeah,
had shows,
Java.
we played it.
Yeah,
the
yeah.
coffee
That
house
was the
retreat or
thing
something.
Well,
back
we
then,
can
big
attest a
time,
lot of
man.
that was on Brian Smith, man. He worked his ass off. He found venues. He pushed the shit out of our MySpace page. He pushed,
Yeah.
He pushed all of us. Also, was like, hey, come on, guys, like get on this shit. And so
Right.
that helped. Going to shows, passing out flyers, pushing all that. I mean, we pushed real hard all together.
Who handled the
I had
graphics? Was it you, Brian, that handled graphics?
Yeah, I remember you
I
did.
did.
you
I
did.
did all the
Okay.
flyer design. What?
No, Mike.
Because I remember you did something for us for Seeker for Apollo, like a quick little logo or some shit. I don't know if we're still doing that.
I think it
or
was
if you did
no,
more.
Brian did a shirt
It might have been
design.
a sticker.
Yeah, I thought you
You
did
did
some
sticker.
more designs. Yeah,
I was kind of
I
just
don't
like
remember which one it was.
Before we even had
Half-assed.
it was like before we had a quote unquote logo, the blue flower one with just like
Oh, that was
weird.
me too.
Oh, okay. I was trying to make
guys,
it sound
right
like it
here.
wasn't that good.
I fucking
He's over here trying to throw Brian some cheese.
Yeah,
He's like, no, that was me too, man.
Brian did do some animated gift stuff for us and some design stuff for us.
But we printed one of somebody's. It was your shirt that you made.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
it was sized incorrectly. That's
Oh, yeah.
Little square.
Yeah,
of
it's
the-
supposed to be a
yeah,
full
yeah.
frontal shirt,
Which I still
Yeah.
have.
It was like 75 DPI, not 300 or something like that.
yeah.
Well, with screen printing, you're all good with that. But it was.
Yeah, Mike sent
Yeah.
it on file.
Fucking vector file, goddammit.
Yeah, so I do remember because at one point we as far as the history too with you guys, we had we shared a room with you guys, and I remember you guys going through a lot of vocalists and one after another, and I don't how many vocalists was it before you guys got Josh, and how did Josh come in contact too?
5
with
or
you guys?
6 at least.
Yeah.
We never played any shows with a vocalist
Still
like
Josh.
trying,
until Josh came down, right?
but-
Yeah.
We were sharing a room with John Bonet also at the time.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we remember that.
Dude, and it was crazy. I had
Yeah, I remember
Thee
that.
Armada was the first and only band that I've ever been in, and when I found out we were sharing a room with John Bonet, who was signed to a record label,
Yeah.
I was just like, oh my god, they're signed to a record label. Like, this is crazy. They're famous in my mind. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Paul and I were looking at
if I hear you're signed to a record label,
Uh-huh.
you know, to me, with the background that I had in music, it was like,
Van
oh,
Halen.
shit, you made it.
Yeah. No,
Van Halen, you're
Right,
You're
right,
fucking
yeah.
Aerosmith in this bitch.
No,
Well,
I
you
mean,
gotta also
that was
know
big
that
time.
like, the crazy thing is, I mean, YouTube stars were just a new thing.
Oh, there was no YouTube.
Yeah.
So it really, it was
know,
kind of
okay,
just
I mean,
starting. It was
early
kind of just
exceptions.
starting.
Yeah.
Not just, excuse me, not just starting, just getting popular.
This was
And
like
so-
2008.
Just-
Okay, yeah, 2000
Yeah, something like that. Yeah,
2008,
that's about
It
right.
existed. It wasn't what it is now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
This was like late 2007,
Yes,
2000.
yeah.
2005 is when.
so the
6,
big
7
thing
is
is
when
Right.
we were.
But what I'm
But,
saying is like I didn't start playing with Paul and Jake until 2008. That was the year when I started playing with y'all.
Yeah.
And y'all were already basically, I think Josh was already in the band and y'all were
Yeah.
already established
Oh,
coming
yeah.
up pretty heavily.
Oh,
Yeah.
we had started touring in middle 2007, mid
Yeah.
2007.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was
so,
always
like, we
our
were-
first big tour.
Yeah, so we
Yeah.
would always go like hang out at y'all's studio and
Was it
like
that early?
you know
What?
Was it that early?
it had
It was
to
like
have been.
2008 and then 2009
Nah,
and
yeah,
then,
yeah, nah.
or 7 and 8.
I think it was late
the years run together.
2007, man.
God, it was.
That's when we had that big Fitzgerald's
Yeah.
kickoff show.
Yeah, well, I know
okay. I
that
think
2008 was the year that
You
I
thought it
started
was what?
playing with them.
Yeah.
so
The
that's
80s
I know
show?
that for sure.
Yeah,
The 80s show.
Yeah. Yeah,
That was
that
our-
was a good show. I remember that. I was there.
Yeah,
you guys had fucking Terminator, right, or some shit coming out.
The light show.
Before each song, we did a different theme song from
Yeah.
like a movie, an 80s movie.
Yeah.
And we had everybody dress up 80s. I mean,
Yeah, I
we
remember
sold out
that.
the upstairs. I mean, it felt like that place was going to fall down.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It was
Yeah.
it was nuts. You can find those videos on YouTube.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah,
saw them the
they're
other
on
day.
YouTube.
They're still there. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
So where did
Yeah.
the origin of the name came from? Like,
Yeah.
who thought of that name?
Not Taylor.
Coheed and Cambria just came out with the Good Apollo album, and on Welcome Home, there's a line where he says something "storm off to scar the Armada." So I was like,
There you go. Yeah.
I was
Fucking
like,
harmonizing
cool,
here.
the Armada. And I was like, it can't be. If I write it THE, people might say the Armada, and it just sounds stupid.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I was the first one to show up at practice, and
And he was
wrote
like,
the
yo, guys, I
Armada.
got this tattoo of
And then-
this band, Coheed
And
Cambria.
and then we needed a name for the EP, and I came in and I wrote that on there, and that's what we used too. So I named the band and our E EP.
Oh, interesting.
Dude, you
Interesting.
maybe had all
One of the
guitar,
EPs,
right?
but
Interesting.
What was the what was the name
I
of the
remember
EP?
it.
yeah, what was the name of the
The
EP?
new you,
The
you
new
know,
you.
and I was gonna get to that too eventually, like the sound you guys established, and I guess it just came from a different backgrounds from each one of you guys and what you brought in, and I remember, it's crazy because I witnessed you guys, and me and Jacob witnessed you guys growing and like figuring out your style and listening to what you guys are playing. It's like it was just interesting to hear where you guys were going for, and I loved it, and just how you guys achieved that style, like it was just amazing for me at that time. And I listened to it like 3 times yesterday. I haven't listened to it in a while. The new U EP, and it's like, man, this shit still holds up to
It holds up. Yeah,
today.
absolutely,
Like it sounds really
Wow,
good.
thank you.
Because like I mean, I'm really focusing in the music. I've been writing music, and I plan to release an album
Dude,
myself
yeah,
later
you guys
this year.
been fucking making
And
badass
so-
music for a long time.
Yeah, but I'm understanding it more, and then listening to what you guys did on that album, the dynamics and everything, the changes, the small things you guys did, it just makes such an impact. It was just a good listening experience, and
Yeah, just like that song. I don't mean to cut you off, but like Chasing Fireflies. You know, where you ride the bass drum and the bridge.
yeah, I
man.
take credit for everything cool on it.
yeah, man, no,
but like that
shit is so badass.
The way the arrangement
yeah.
of that song, and then
Right.
I think during the verse, like you started with the up count on the up count. It's just like
Yeah.
it's very,
So
And I-
was there a specific sound that y'all were going for, or was it just like, hey, like I'm gonna bring this riff that I think sounds cool, and then Brian's gonna add a drum line that he thinks is cool, and like Mike's gonna add a bass line that he thinks is
that.
cool.
I mean, it was like, you know, when you
and this was just the sound that came out, or was it
Yeah.
like we really want to be like these bands?
Well,
no, it was bringing everybody's flavor. And
definitely.
Yeah.
and it was also
But
It was like when we. Well, hold on. Let me say one thing real quick.
Okay.
It's kind of like when you start a band, you're all on. All of a sudden, it's like okay, everybody's on the same page. No rules. Let's just write some songs and see what happens. Like that's kind of like the conversation of how it starts. And then we wrote some songs and we hatched them out. We had other tunes that didn't make the EP, and then and we just kept moving from there.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say, Chad?
What helped, or what I thought helped us write and stay different in the very beginning is the tuning that we played in. Like Brian said, okay, this is what we're going to play. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about, dude?
Yeah,
it
was a weird tuning.
Can you elaborate for us musicians, like what tuning? Like
drop Z?
No,
like drop C. What?
no. So your regular tuning for guitar is E A D G B E. We took the top two strings and went C G D G B E.
Oh, okay.
So we dropped the two top strings 2 steps lower.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
And couple that with a lot of weed.
Baby, yeah.
Fingers.
No.
Well, it's not like
kinda
Well,
look
where
like
did
this
that
when-
idea come?
Yeah.
Was that an
Brian
original
tuned
idea,
his
or was
drums
that like
down,
is there
too.
other?
That sounds like that's all Brian,
That's all
doing
Brian.
that, right?
That's all
Brian
Brian.
tuned his drums
Brian
way
Shelton.
down, so
Yeah, Brian
Yeah.
Shelton, yeah.
Brian Shelton, yes.
I don't know how he
Towels
did.
on all my
My
drums.
man.
He's a hardcore Goo Goo Dolls fan.
Yeah.
That sounds like a fucking Goo Goo Dolls tuning. Open C.
Yeah,
No, but
Open C tuning.
yeah, there you go.
I was
it was a fun. It was fun. Man. It was fun.
no, but I was super into guitar at that time and just like learn
At
as
that
much as I
time,
could.
he was.
Well, no,
Yeah.
at that time. But no, when he told me that tuning and I started experimenting with it, it was just like I've never played. It just opened up a lot of shit that I would have never.
Right.
Never played guitar
Yeah.
at this point.
Never played guitar before. I really needed a guitar
I
player.
had never
Yeah.
played, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to try this too.
Yeah.
I brought my guitar in. Brian tuned it for me every practice
Yeah.
before.
He figured it out
Damn,
real
man.
quick, though. He did.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I was
But-
gonna say, what? Just
The beginning. Hold on. Let me,
oh yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. It's okay.
The music that we started.
Fuck you.
What we
whatever,
were
said
writing
that.
in the beginning was, or what we ended up, the kind of music we were putting out right before we ended was not the style of music I think that we were trying to go for when we started the band.
Right.
It evolved.
Right.
It
Yeah.
evolved into
yeah.
what worked for and what was popular and what created a fan base. So
Yeah.
we
It evolved
Eventually
into
I was gonna get
14 to
that.
17-year-old.
No, I was.
You
hold
guys
on,
are
before-
way jumping.
wait,
Yeah,
we're gonna get to that.
We're
in a
gonna get
second.
to that, yeah.
But I was just gonna comment back, like just a little more commentary on the new you. I really love the original version of Rock, Shock, and Load. The maturity and just the rawness of it compared to the, you guys eventually redid it. I love the arrangement, and I love how at the end, just like how it ends with the guitar, like that's a and just the arrangement of that song was just it's just so much better than when you did with Brian what's his name
McTurnan?
McTurnan, yeah.
I
That's
don't
just
remember
me.
how that part went. Can you?
Wait.
Wait.
I heard it many times, and that's how it goes in my head.
Hey,
Yeah, that's my guitar.
are you guys familiar with the gang, the term gang vocals?
Yeah.
Whose idea is to throw the gang vocals in it? Because I know you guys dropped it in Rock, Shock, and Load, and then y'all dropped it in Hotels and Heroin with or
Yeah.
no,
No,
yeah.
this
Generation or something like that. Yeah.
sticking me up. I don't know. No,
was it somebody that just loved gang vocals or?
I don't remember.
Was there?
Whose
Was,
idea?
Sounds like Paul likes
let's
gang
I think
bang.
we're-
was that all you guys too? I'm assuming.
Yeah.
was that?
Or
all
no,
we brought in a fucking choir and had them do say generation. All right.
Yeah, why not?
leave.
Exactly. That's a
To be honest with you,
possibility. What the fuck is wrong with
Well,
that?
when we were recording,
We're not POD. We don't have that kind of money.
when we recorded the
I like how he drops PO.
Yeah.
He looks at me because I'm the only Mexican here.
We're not POD.
The first grade.
Well, I mean, I think what Paul was, I think what Paul was getting at is like, y'all did on that first EP, the new you. Did you have a producer when you were in there? Did you?
Yes.
Or did y'all go in and just be like, hey, we're gonna self-produce this. We're gonna do this our way.
Teddy?
He was
No, the owner of
engineering.
the studio. We met with him too before we even
Yeah.
recorded. But the thing is, we didn't do it all together. That was the problem. Were we ever at Matchbox Studios all together? Because we kind of went up there and recorded our sections and stayed while we were recording.
But he was never there, though.
No, we were all
Dan, whatever his
together.
name is, right? What
That
was his
wasn't
name?
here either, too, right? You guys went.
It wasn't.
No.
It
He
wasn't
was
Austin.
It was
But
just
it-
us and Teddy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it wasn't like we sat down with a producer and hashed out the songs.
No.
But we had to use him to mix it. The owner of the studio up in Austin, at Matchbox Studios.
Okay, so you had a mixing engineer, and a tracking engineer.
Yeah,
but no producer.
No, yeah.
Okay.
We produced that EP
Okay.
for sure. For sure.
Yeah,
Sweet. Okay.
you can tell. Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah.
So those ideas
going-
were ours, but I don't
going
know if-
forward from that, like you shifted from the new you to Sweet Teas. Like what happened? What was
Yeah,
what
the
was
direction. Like
Who
I
came up
always.
with that album title?
before Sweet.
I did. Who did? Who did? Come on, let it out. Let it out.
Well, we put out
Brian
the
did.
2 singles before Sweet Teas.
Yeah,
What?
it was Rock,
Yeah.
Shock, and Load, and
And
Along the Way.
Along the Way,
Yeah.
Yeah. Sweet Teas came later. We recorded
Yeah.
that in Dallas.
You get it? We like sweet tea. And it was
That's
an EP.
totally what I took from that
I-
name.
I thought it was
That
just being
that
a,
was-
you
that
know,
was
like
Brian's idea, and that was the point. Actually,
teasing
couldn't-
a fucking, you know, never mind, forget it. I'm not going to say it.
So there is a change though from the new year
Yeah,
to
just-
Sweet Teas. Like,
So-
how did that go
What-
about?
So
Yeah.
we are obviously, in
One
my
word.
mind, the biggest fucking band in Houston. At the time, before we go on, before we go on tour and do that Fitzgerald show, whatever.
I mean, it's easy. Back
Back
then,
dude, that's what I said. In my eyes, as
Neon.
far as a local band goes,
Yeah, that's
and
what
then a kid, Alex Chavez, really liked us, and we became good friends with him. And his dad is involved in the record label industry, and helped Alex start his own record label, and we were the band that he signed.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah,
And that's how we got the funding and whatever to go record with Brian McTurnan
Yeah,
in
that was
Baltimore.
Foundation
Foundation
recordings.
recording.
Foundation,
Yeah.
Right.
And we went and recorded the newer Rock, Shock, and Loaded Along the Way singles, and those
they
were
paid
produced.
for that.
Yeah.
Those
Now, was
were
that
like-
your idea to change it up, or was that like
No, that's-
advice from
That was
That was
sitting down
producer.
with Brian McTurnan,
Yeah.
for sure.
That's the work of a producer.
hits?
yeah.
That's and that's when we learned, or that's when I learned how like the music industry works. They don't care really how talented you are. It's if it's going to be a good radio hit,
Yeah.
cool. And that's what
Boy.
that's what
At
those
least-
songs were molded to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That direction. Was
Yeah.
because of
Well, it
that.
seems
Yeah.
like nowadays that's like a different
Well, no, there's a-
perspective. Now, like you don't necessarily have to do. I mean, like a SoundCloud rappers, like somebody. You
Well,
can
no, I
do
mean
it on your own.
you listen to the radio. Every single song,
Yeah.
the chorus comes in before the 48, 50-second mark.
Sure,
Yeah.
man. Good
There's
point.
the,
Short.
the
Well, there's
introduction,
there's a formula,
yeah,
like there's
yeah,
always been. There's
it's
always
typical
been.
structure,
and
yeah.
we got. I think we just got that like kind of cemented in our mind that we needed to follow that, and it kind of became a little bit tougher
Well, a
to
lot
write
of-
songs
a lot
because we're
of
like,
that, too,
God, it has
was,
to be a hit. It has to be
a lot
a
of that
hit.
was on
mean,
Josh too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Josh brought a lot of stuff to the table, song wise. He'd come
Oh, yeah.
because he'd come in with a tune that he
Yeah.
already had lyrics to.
Oh,
So it
right.
was real easy to go, okay, let's work on that song because he
Yeah.
already had a melody for it.
Yeah.
Even if, like Taylor or Brian had a song that he was like, okay, that's cool too, we'd kind of push that one to kind of the side at the moment because Josh would be like, well, I have these songs that I wrote
That I've written already.
that
Yeah.
have vocals and blah blah blah, and we'd be like, all right, let's hear it, and it'd be catchy and be like, all right, cool, because we were kind of riding that wave of that Rock, Shock, and Load kind of started for us.
Yeah.
Right,
Okay.
right.
And
So,
so, and so we molded into this pop punk.
yeah.
Neon.
Okay. So
pop rock band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And-
So that's where
So
your
you're
Forever the-
seed it
Forever the
started
Sickest
came
Kid
from like
style.
this.
That's
so you're blaming that on Josh. Then.
Well, no, not just Josh. Also the time. That
And you're right. I mean, at the time, that type
that's
of music
what was
that,
popular.
Yeah. Okay.
But then you
Okay.
can also
See
have
it
Rock, Shock,
in-
and Loaded just
well,
came
you
out,
can
right? And you have to feed off that.
Well, that's what he's saying. They were feeding off of that, and
Feeding
Josh
off of
was
that.
bringing
We were
in
feeding
you
off
know,
of
they were
the,
all
the
writing
music
in.
that was kind of popular at the time as well.
Yeah.
We played and toured with some bands. That was what was going on. We did well with them. We played in Dallas and Plano a bunch of times at a couple festivals up there, and that was what was
Thrown
that's what
by
was drawing the
Mike
kids.
Zimmer, who
Yeah,
throws
yeah.
the So What music festivals.
It was,
Oh, okay.
It was definitely the success of whatever success Rock, Shock, and Load had is what drove us
in our next ventures of songwriting.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So were
Okay,
y'all? Was
so
that a
yeah, that
conscious
makes
effort
sense.
to try to follow
Okay.
that up with something?
Oh yeah,
Then,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That makes sense. Okay.
You start seeing the shows grow and hearing the song all over the place, and it's like, oh, we want to do that more and more and more.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
and like
La 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 la.
backtrack a little bit before the
Yeah, and
success.
Train to
We'll go
Tokyo.
that. Yeah.
Or, before,
Train-
yeah.
Oh, I'm glad
before-
somebody brought up Train to Tokyo.
Hey, before the success
Living in America.
or whatever you want to call it from that, the music we were writing for the first EP was kind of like influenced. Well, the bands I think we were all listening to was like Receiving Into Sirens,
Yeah.
Dredge, and just like not.
Sitting in hotel rooms and
What
doing
kind of
heroin.
what
Yeah,
kind of bands were
yeah.
we listening to?
Heroin.
Just
Well,
kidding.
we wrote the music
Don't be
that
ashamed, baby.
of and it was everybody's just this is what we're into, and it didn't matter. We weren't trying to fit a certain this is what's working right now. This is what's popular. Blah blah blah.
Well,
And that's why the new you was
Right.
well, the
Yeah.
new you also
Right.
most of that was written without vocals, so we were trying to
that's
write
true.
musically cool stuff
That's true.
Yeah.
to entertain and have fun and write what we liked. So musically, we were doing more, and then we added vocals to some of those songs and restructured them. So we were playing like Hotels and Heroin without a singer before,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we were just playing what sounded good to us, what was
Fucking
fun.
Taylor.
Well, we had to look cool on stage too, so we had to like throw tapping into it. So
Yeah,
people
that's
had
what I'm
something to
saying.
look
Like
at.
that fucking that intro's
Yeah.
badass, man. That is a hell of an intro.
So,
that song.
Suck his dick a little harder.
Yeah.
Quick question.
Oh, fuck yeah!
Y'all want to clear
In
the
front
room?
of people. Too.
Where did the song Byzantine Icon fit into that? Because it seems like that's a little bit of the old flavor.
Yeah, that was under the
On
That was under the
sides, right?
B-sides.
Bringing that up. I love that song.
Yeah,
yeah,
great
that was-
song.
Yeah, it is.
One of my
that song.
favorite
One of my
songs
favorite
he
songs.
ever wrote.
Yeah.
I think that's what he's talking
recorded.
about. Is like that's off the new stuff, but it's a throwback.
I wrote
to
that
the old
riff,
stuff.
too.
That was something we did, and Josh was a big part of that one too. But
We did that before. Josh wasn't involved, was he, on that
yes,
one?
yeah, yeah,
In the
he
writing?
was. Yeah, he was
The music
Big time.
part, too?
Oh yeah.
In
He
the
was even
beginning.
playing
Isn't
guitar
it
at that
actually
time. He
pronounced
might even- he might have
Byzantine?
even
I
recorded
think
that.
it's
Dude, that-
Byzantine. I
that
think
song
it's
was in the old
Byzantine.
tuning.
Josh says it's Byzantine in
Yeah,
the song.
yeah.
Well, Josh
He
is
never
wrong.
played in that old
Josh
tuning
is
with us.
wrong.
We wrote that later, man. Yeah, we wrote it and recorded that. I think we recorded that in Dallas with my friend Philip, right?
No, that song was a very,
We
very.
did that with Chris Goodwin in that
We
that
did?
house.
Dude, that's an old. that was on the old tuning and
yes,
everything.
Yeah, my bad. My
Josh
bad.
wasn't.
Okay,
playing
so
in
that
nothing.
was
Josh
that
was
song's
part of that,
older.
dude. Yeah, I think
He wasn't playing guitar to it because we were playing on that old guitar tuning.
Okay, but I mean, like it was later.
Yeah, he was there,
It was after
yeah.
Rock, Stock, and Load, and along the way that we wrote and
Yeah,
recorded that song.
So coming past, let's
Well,
move a little
before that,
past
that was actually like a song before the Sweet Teas era, right?
Yeah,
right before,
Yeah.
Okay, guys, that's
Yeah.
and that was definitely a B side that we were stoked about.
right. I got you.
Yeah.
So moving past that, like you're riding the success of Rock, Shock, and Load and Train to Tokyo and whatever else was coming out at the time, and you're doing a lot of club gigs. Y'all are working your ass off. I remember multiple times going to concerts at the time up in the Woodlands and bumping into one of you guys passing out flyers, whether it be Mike or
Oh,
Brian or
yeah.
Taylor
We
or
were,
Brian. Somebody was out
we
there
were
passing
always
out
there.
flyers, and there were flyers fucking everywhere walking out of there. Like, and I couldn't go to a show without seeing a Thee Armada flyer somewhere. I mean,
Yeah,
there's I will not disagree with, like, you guys were working your ass off getting your name out there. So what were the spoils of that? Like, what kind of, like, the best thing that a band can do is, like, throw themselves in a van and go on tour. So, like, what came of that? Like, what all, let's talk about, like, Paul kind of knows more about this. Obviously, you guys know more about this, but Paul, like, what was kind of, like, timeline of events? Like, what happened, like, coming up?
Like, when did Taste of Chaos come in? The
yeah,
band's
I had that,
2007.
Yeah.
and then you guys did Vans. That was after, right? The following, I forgot.
Probably 2007.
Yeah, I was there for the what's called the Taste of Chaos tour. I caught like 5 minutes of you guys. They wouldn't.
Yeah, that
Or
was
they-
that was a bummer. I mean, that was an awesome thing that we won. So we won a contest to
Yeah.
play that show to open up Taste of Chaos tour that year, and it was an awesome lineup. I mean, it was 30 Seconds to Mars, The Used, Eveline.
Wasn't Sales in there too?
Sales?
Sales
No,
in.
not Sales.
Oh, okay.
Were they?
Kill
I
Switch?
thought they were.
No,
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 Kill Switch
no,
went on
Kill
that one.
It was 30 Seconds to Mars. I
It
think
was
the
30
main
Seconds to
headliner.
Mars. And the used.
The Used, yeah. Those were the two main headliners.
Did you guys run into Jared Leto?
I don't know, but we got to hang out with Bert from the U. And,
Oh, nice.
and-
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he seemed totally into talking to us.
Does he smell? Does he
he's a
smell
nice
bad?
guy.
I feel like Burt
I
McCracken smells bad.
I think they were cool, man. They were cool. We talked to we met a lot of people, and that was a fun time. But the bummer about it was we played first, and they were like, oh, you have to start playing, and we're like, okay. And
What time did y'all start playing?
I don't remember
the
exactly.
doors
8
It was
PM.
like as they opened the doors.
So they opened doors
Yeah,
right
people
when we
were
had to start
walking
playing.
in,
So
that's
they were
right.
like, slowly checking everybody to get in the door still. So like we played for probably 250 people.
I mean, it started to fill up towards the
It
end,
started
but
to, yeah.
I could give a shit less. I just remember sound
true.
checking my drums and just going, "Oh,
at
my,
Verizon
it's like a
Wireless,
cannon."
yeah,
Just
dude, that was
Damn.
it was a huge
Nice.
stage. We were all like, I just remember thinking like, shit, how are we gonna fill up this huge stage? So I remember running around everywhere.
And the coolest thing,
Damn,
I was
badass.
super into Eveline at the time. That was
Yeah.
probably
They were
the
badass.
band
They
I
were
wanted to
awesome.
see the
Super
most
awesome.
there. And we sound checked, and the drummer walked up, and he was like, "Man, it sounded great." And I was like, "Yeah,
That's bad.
Yeah. Learn something, you
They
fuck.
were really, and then kind of find out they were actually really nice guys, and we hung out with that band a few times down the road.
Nice.
But
Nice. Yeah.
so that was that start of that. So it was a bummer because they were just letting people in as we were playing. So it was like we didn't get to play to the packed house at Verizon Wireless as the rest. Obviously, the rest.
Right.
Thinking back
right.
on it, we should have just been
Damn.
like waited and been like, "Come take me off the fucking stage."
Funny thing is our first 3 songs are not songs.
Yeah.
You're
They're
okay.
like, all right, well, you only have this much time, so you're done now.
Yeah.
It was it was a cool, amazing experience though. Like, it was super
So
awesome.
so being at the level that y'all were at, like I remember hanging out, like helping y'all unload the trailer, like kind of back in after y'all got done touring, or been on a short road trip or whatever. Which, by the way, I had one of y'all's PA speakers in my studio.
Yeah,
for
it's a PV.
The PV.
410.
Yeah.
I remember that. Yeah.
Harvey took that, but it
Yeah.
worked up
Whatever.
until, and I used it up until Harvey retired that for me.
Glad to hear it got get some good use then.
Yeah, but I specifically remember hanging out, like kind of talking stuff like where y'all were unloading stuff as we were like in between, taking a break from practice and stuff. So what's it, being a, not a huge band, obviously, with the tour bus and roadies and stuff like that. Like, what's it like having to try to go out there and like book your own gigs and shit like that? Like all on the road, like finding a place to sleep. What do you eat? Like, like
The tour life.
Like being a hardworking band coming up and like what's
It's
how
a lot.
hard
It's
is
a
it?
lot
What's
of
that
work,
doing?
but it sounds scarier than it really is. It's the way that you're making it, you're listing all these things. It really. I remember now, and thinking back to it now, like it wasn't as hard as it sounds. I mean, we got it done. We eventually, we eventually got a booking agent.
you have to
but-
talk into the mic, Mike.
Mike.
That's why I'm not a singer. I don't know how these things work.
Goddamn bass
I don't
players.
have- Jesus, yeah.
Hey, go fuck yourself.
Luckily, I have a face for radio, so we're good. So like, yeah, it was.
You ever tried DMT?
Fucking Joe. That's cool, bro. You ever tried to Jamie, pull that up, Rob.
Yeah. Oh, he's got it right here. No, keep going. It wasn't as hard.
It wasn't, but I mean, and then we found, through you said the spoils, we created a buzz. So then we got a booking agent that was, our friend Brian Buckley. He helped us out big time. Once we had
How many
him,
fucking Brians are involved in this story?
no joke. Too many at one time, man.
I before the Y.
There you go.
But booking the shows, they were smaller. They grew more and more and more and more, and then that's when we finally figured out getting a booking agent. We did, and he started helping us book little tours, and he had connections. It was just a constant networking thing that we did with moving along, and so it was great. And so also with the spoils, like I said, with food and stuff. So Brian, we got creative on the road for sure with eating.
Oh yeah,
we had our own money. We kind of got to the point where where we had guarantees at shows. So we started to pay ourselves a little bit. So we had money, but
We didn't pay our.
a little bit.
We gave ourselves like
$200 a month, like a week or a month or something like that. I forget what it was.
I think it was just.
Oh yeah, you
eat
just
off
never
our-
got that. Taylor.
Yeah, we got to eat off
Never
our.
cut Taylor in on that. Is that
He
what
got
Brian's
paid.
saying?
He doesn't remember.
We got to eat off the band card. The band
There was a point in time where we paid ourselves a little bit on one tour.
Did we?
So I've got to.
Did we?
Yeah. Well, we didn't.
You
pay
were
for
high,
it.
but they didn't tell you.
I didn't get to.
The reason is because Taylor spent it all on Dr. Pepper.
So, hey, look at
and
every
cigarettes.
picture of me
So
from the band.
anyways, so-
Marble Reds, Dr. Pepper.
Jesus.
Every
right.
picture.
Still
Oh, my
doing it,
God.
huh?
And then spit cups all over the place. Oh, my God.
So I don't know if
And
the
dip.
guys. I don't know if the guys knew that that I did this, but I have something
great.
to admit.
Oh, let's hear it.
and this
I wanna
was
hear it.
genius.
Come on,
and
let's
any
hear it.
bands listening that want to try this, or anybody in general.
Okay, let's hear it.
No, it
So
probably is.
when we would stay at various hotels, every now and again, and they give you the little plastic room key cards,
Yeah.
to get into your room. So I would save those from every hotel, right? And depending on where we were, if there was like a Holiday Inn, I'd grab my Holiday Inn card and I'd walk in. And you just kind of flash the card and be like, "Hey, where's the buffet at?" I'd walk over and get breakfast.
Nice.
Oh, my
there you
God.
go.
That's smart as hell, dude.
Hell yeah.
I've done that not being in a band, just staying at a really
explains a
shitty
lot, actually.
hotel.
That explains a lot.
We left you out of that one too.
I don't know.
Taylor.
Yeah, Michael was a little like he didn't know about that either.
Well, I guess I just made it up on my mind.
Damn, nice, Brian.
The time I was talking about-
Pre-continental breakfast.
The time I was talking about was
Brian's
Brian.
like, I fucking ate. I mean, I don't know if y'all ate. I ate.
I
Did those
I'm
waffle
talking about-
machines?
We used to just walk into those places anyways. Like, he flashed a card. I usually just flashed a like, I'm here to eat your food. I don't give a shit.
It's not like they would really know, but the card kind of validates it a little bit. Just like
Brian would validate for all of us, and we need to sit there and eat food. But anyway, so I remember the time I remember is actually at Cece's Pizza.
yes,
baby.
We
Yeah.
were in the middle of
Yeah, baby.
Illinois. I don't even know.
Florida.
Was it Florida? That was not Florida the first time.
Sorry, it was Louisiana
Okay.
on the way to Florida.
Okay, so we were at a Cece's Pizza. It was about to close, and we're done eating. And Brian kind of is like gets this idea like, "Hey, let's see if we can. Let's ask him for their leftover pizza.
Yeah.
because they're just gonna throw it all away." And it was
Done that
like,
before.
"That's a great idea." So it was either him or one of I don't remember who went and asked about it, but
Who's got less dignity?
Well, I just walked
Low
around. I was like,
self-esteem.
"Hey, if you guys are gonna throw that away, I mean,
We're a
we're a
touring
band,
band and blah, blah,
in a
yeah,
van.
yeah.
We'll take it." Next thing you know, we're walking out with like
walked out
28
with-
boxes.
yeah,
I remember that.
we had like eight or nine full pizzas, and we were like, "Oh my god!"
Hey, see, you know what? It never hurts to ask. That's how we
Yeah.
ended up with a fucking Eureka Heights sponsorship.
It doesn't have to
because
ask you, right?
somebody had the forethought to be like, "Hey, what if we got into a little sponsorship deal going on?"
You sound like you're conning him, and you're doing this openly. He might hear this.
that was
so.
not conning.
Oh,
They're
all
getting,
right,
they're getting.
Squeaky wheel gets the fucking
There you
grease.
go.
That's all. you
Well,
know?
hey, on the note of sponsorships like that, product sponsorships, we got kind of really lucky with that as well. And I can tell you, this is something definitely for all bands to do, big or small, it doesn't matter. We did an interview, I think in New York. I don't remember exactly where. Again, I don't remember exactly where we were. Did an interview, and they were like asked us a question like, "Hey, so what's kind of the essentials when you're on tour? What do you use every
Did y'all?
day?"
Is that the ear candy or skull candy fucking headphones?
Well, skull
thing?
candy. We
That
didn't
was
have
later.
skull candy yet.
That was later.
We got that through our manager, but we mentioned like, we use Axe on the road. That's crucial. We use this product and this product, Red Bulls, and this keeps us going on the road.
Trojan
And
condom.
We learned it from Papa Roach when they did that for Dickies.
they asked us all that that, and at this point we were still kind of just touring, not really and that's it. And then all of a sudden we get like an email of like, "Hey, thank you for mentioning us. We're Axe Body Spray. Give us an address. We'd love to send you some product." And we're like, "Okay, cool." Thinking, okay, they're gonna send us like a little thing of some like a little like cool gift box, and they send us cases like literally
Jesus.
like 20 cases of this stuff, and it's those little mini Axe. I don't know if you've ever seen them, little Max.
Oh my
Yeah.
god!
And we had cases of this shit.
It smelled like Jersey Shore in a van.
And then we get a call from Red Bull.
Monster. No,
No, Monster.
Energy.
It was Monster.
Monster.
Oh my
Monster.
god! Green
And so-
and blue only.
Red.
And red. Assault.
Monster,
Fruit punch.
Monster sent us cases of
Never mind.
the tea. They have a tea that they do as well, not called Monster. It's called Fuse, right? That was a Monster product, I think. I don't know. That's when we
Fuse
got.
I don't
was a
remember
Coke
that.
You remember
product,
all
or
those
the tea
Fuse, the
product.
Fuse teas that we had too? We had cases of this
Oh,
stuff.
FUZ.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
We had cases of that. We had cases of Monster. So literally, like, if we didn't have food to eat that day, we would just pop a Monster, and that was our meal for that, like for lunch. I mean,
That's awesome.
But
There was
Damn.
90% of the time somebody would let us stay at their house after the show.
yeah.
it
Oh,
was
that's cool.
So easy to find a place to stay.
So were you? I mean, like it would push game to show. I mean, you just stayed in a van.
No.
I mean, or no.
We never stayed in the van, not
at
one
all?
time.
I did.
Brian did.
Brian
Just-
slept
I
in
would
the
take
van
the
and bust
seats
down.
out, bring my air mattress, especially if it was like 40, 30 degrees.
Oh, there you go.
clothes
That's probably
off.
the best. Yeah.
Well, also
baby.
Brian did it
If
too.
you guys
'cause
only
he
saw
was-
what I
he
did in
wanted,
that
he
van.
wanted to.
He was security
He
for
was
the van.
protecting the gear.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's you hear all
Yeah.
these stories about
Naked?
people getting
Protecting
their
the
whole,
trailer from intruders in the middle of the night.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, you hear all these stories
Show
about
one of your
bands getting
videos
their,
and run away.
You know, their whole trailer like unhooked and loaded up and gone, or somebody cuts the lock and empties their trailer.
Yeah,
while
no.
they're
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
I thought that was happening one night.
Not us.
Yeah.
I'll let
And I
Mike
was the
tell that
only-
story if he wants to.
I was the only person who knew how to back a trailer.
Oh, nice.
Shit.
Pennsylvania, Indiana.
We all backed the trailer.
Oh yeah, we let Josh and Brian
We
back
let
the trailer.
Josh do it
yeah,
once
never.
and realized this was a horrible idea. And we let Josh drive once and
No.
realized it was a horrible
Well,
idea.
I don't see Josh able to back a trailer.
We
I don't
don't
know
know.
what
He
I did.
didn't do it.
Jay
Brian
had
Shelton
the
couldn't
same
do
issue
it.
too, Jake.
Brian Smith
I
didn't
couldn't
do
do
it.
that.
Mike definitely
Well, if
didn't do
there's
it.
anybody that was born to be a truck driver,
It was me right here.
Goddamn.
You're looking at
I
him.
was able to back that trailer. And
Goddamn
He
America.
wasn't. Driving to New York with a van and trailer is your worst fucking
if anybody,
nightmare.
no one
Oh,
knows
man.
this, but Taylor has a birthmark that looks like a Mack truck symbol.
Where?
I have asked
Oh, okay. I have Asmark too.
to
Yeah.
knock.
To knock.
Build that fucking wall.
Still heard you, man.
Okay, well, you don't want to start doing that,
Blocks the
Brian.
mic, like with his hands.
Taylor-
I feel like if you had a picture of Taylor now and showed it to Taylor, like 8 years ago, and be like, "This is what you become," he'd be like, "Yeah, that's
Fuck.
about right."
Yeah, thank you. I wish I knew I could have grown a beard back then. I would have done it.
Fuck you. At least you can grow facial hair.
Yeah.
And I got lack of legs here too.
I do liking it.
Fuck.
Well,
So-
you grew your hair long back.
I know.
Yeah,
I
that's
wish
true.
I-
That's true. Yeah, I got that.
He's
So-
letting it go.
So
I'm
you
going.
guys, so you guys are going along. You're touring. All these things are happening. Obviously, bittersweet. All good things kind of have to wrap up. So let's talk about like the kind of decline of where how did that all come about? It seemed to me as an outsider, it seemed like y'all were like riding this huge wave of success, and then all of a sudden it was like, man, hey, like what happened?
The
You know what I
teenage
mean?
girls
We're
grew
not
up.
even going to talk about.
See, I was gonna ask you guys, seriously, kind
Just
of before
kidding.
going to this, did you guys? I mean, was there any like stalkers? Did you guys have? Or, I mean, anything like that?
Josh for sure. Oh,
I had to carry a stick with me.
Freesby was a stalker. You remember that chick? Freesby.
That's what you named her. That's her name. That's the stalker's
she
name.
liked playing with frisbees.
She would send us this like. She'd always send us messages being like, "I want you to come to." Was it Vegas?
And bring your frisbee.
And
It was
bring-
Plano, Texas,
Plano.
Dallas.
And we'll
we always
throw-
played with
well,
the frisbee before.
and we'll throw the
Yeah,
Freesby. And
the
Yeah.
Freesby.
Is that how she pronounced it? Freesby?
It was
Yeah.
really weird, man. It was
That's
really
awesome.
Yeah, it was really weird.
Man, I miss frisbees.
Yeah.
Light
I've
up
got
ones.
kids. I'm pretty sure we got one hanging around.
Yeah. We'll toss the frisbee.
Yeah,
Yeah, the
That
Freesby.
was-
So during the time of the whole turn thing and everything, before we get to the conclusion of that, did anybody else like interested like signing you guys? Like for instance, y'all played at with Lollapalooza, right? And how did
Bamboozle. We played at Bamboozle.
Bamboozle. Sorry, there you go.
Yeah.
How did that,
Lollapalooza, God.
yeah, but how did that come about?
How do we fuck
Yeah.
Bamboozle. It was through our manager / booking agent. I think they worked on that together.
Yeah.
They got us on that gig. But yeah, so for instance, what you're
And
talking about,
Joyzy.
we did a showcase show in Chicago for
Victory.
Victory Records.
Oh,
Yeah,
so
Victory
awkward.
shit!
Records.
You guys did the victory roster.
That was a
I mean,
crazy
the
story
dance-
too, because we loaded into this beautiful studio. I mean, the place was awesome,
Ultra-
but it was in the middle of this like kind of ghetto warehouse district in Chicago. So we're driving around like,
Like where this looks like where they filmed
Need a
Batman.
light?
like
Film
where
where?
What?
It looks like a scene from Batman.
Yeah,
Damn,
it's like where the
okay.
hell are we? So we roll in, we start loading it, we come out, and the guy that we had in contact with us, his name was JJ, I think, or something like
I
that.
don't remember his name.
I don't know. He was
It was-
short dude with a leather jacket
Yeah,
on.
nice guy, but yeah, it was something like JJ or something like that. I thought that's what I remember.
Paul?
anyways.
Is that what his
Shut the
But see, so we
Shut the fuck up.
I'm cutting you off here, but I was saying we were advised do not waste your time with Victory Records. Don't do this. Don't go do it. But we were like, you know what? Let's just go do it because we want to see what they say.
I mean, just many people, just
like
management,
the internet,
internet,
yeah, and everybody
Day
knows.
to remember.
Well,
That was before, though.
They'd been
That was
there was
before.
lawsuits. There was all kinds of stuff going on with
Right.
them.
But
I
it
mean-
was something to do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
I mean, well,
Something
we had Jeremy from before there was Rosalind on. You know, they were signed to Victory Records. So
Yeah, he told us
we
his
kind of heard the
experience about
backstory
that.
about a little bit
Yeah.
about that also.
Yeah.
So
Okay. Yeah. So and we were in
Yeah.
Chicago anyways because we did an online radio spot in Chicago. Remember when we did that? Yeah. So we were there anyways. So we were like,
So it's like a might as well type of deal.
yeah. And the reason too is our manager at the time, well, not at the time, our manager was in the band Receiving Under Sirens, and so he had known tons of people who had worked with this guy Tony at Victory Records. It's nothing but bad news with this.
That's
guy.
the owner, right? Tony.
Yeah.
Tony Brummel.
Yeah.
Nothing but bad news about this guy. So we go. Okay, so
we're gonna get
blah, blah, blah.
sued as much shit as we've talked about Tony on
Nah,
the show.
Fuck
Yeah.
him. He's the one to get sued.
Yeah.
Fuck him.
He's like, yeah, he's.
Sure, why not?
Welcome.
Fuck him, man.
But do you remember how weird it
Please
was?
tell me it was fat,
The,
at
the whole
least.
Victory Records office came in.
Yeah,
to
well,
watch
what-
us
the whole. You said like it was
in a
like literally
video
like
camera.
4 people.
The whole
But the thing was,
office,
is we go to this room that's like a little small little stage, and it's got this huge like place. It's got a place for probably I don't know like 70, 80 people. You know, like a show, like a small inside venue.
It's like a red amber glow.
At a really nice recording studio. So it's kind of weird that they have this. I guess they do live sound there. They do. I don't know if they do shows, but it was interesting. So we set up and we're like, all right, cool. So.
We had to act like we were playing a show.
And it was like the guy, and then basically the guys brought. So there was like 4 guys standing in the back of the room, all the way in the back, and one of them had a video camera, and then they were like, "All right,
I've seen this.
all right,
porno.
guys, go."
This is
Yeah. And so I remember, Josh turns around, we all look here like, "Hey guys,
Let's just act like it's
just
full
act
of
like
people.
it's a show and let's fucking rock this out."
Yeah.
And so we put on a great show. We're like, I mean, literally, like if we were playing to a crowd, we put on a great show. We're trying to get them to clap along, and we're like
Yeah.
full
Nice,
energy.
nice, yeah.
Nothing.
Finish the set.
Yeah.
They're kind of like, "All right, guys, thanks." We're
Walk
just
out
like,
of the room.
okay, cool.
So, okay, dang. That sounds like the same area where our buddy Jeremy, when their band, what's called auditioned for Victory Records, and that guy Tony, the owner, was actually there. So he wasn't there.
No, they had
guess
a
not.
video camera.
Oh, they had a video camera.
But the funny thing was,
So-
is this guy JJ finally gets back to us late, like a week and a half later. Something
No.
It
FaceTime
it was
wasn't
the
around
next
yet.
day.
FaceTime.
It was.
Was it?
It was the next day. He
Okay, I
calls
thought it was
me
later than that.
I remember this perfectly because I was
All
in the
right,
van.
you tell it then.
And I had a 32-ounce Gatorade bottle, and I just woke up,
took
and
a
I was
piss in
talking
it?
to him, and I was peeing into the bottle, and I was like. It started. I was like, "Oh my god, I'm filling it up. I'm filling it," and I was trying to like talk to him.
I didn't know you're serious.
Yeah, no, I was like, "Whoa!" I was like, "There's no way I'm going to fill up this bottle with one shot," and I was like, "It's filling up."
32 ounce.
32
Fucking
ounces.
you.
Doing while you had this conversation.
Yeah, I was.
That's awesome.
It was a fruit punch one as well. It was completely
Jackass.
empty.
You
But
jackass.
I remember him telling us, he was like, "Tony, watch the video. He wants to sign you guys right now." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, right now? Like, what do you mean?" He's like, "Yeah, let's send over the paperwork and just sign it." I'm like, "No, I think that's a decision we all need to kind of
Yeah.
talk about and sit on." "Oh, what are you waiting for? It's a great deal."
Oh, what are you waiting for? It's Tone from fucking
Come on.
Victory Records.
Yeah.
Sign it.
Oh,
It was
Tony.
a horrible deal, actually. What they sent.
Damn.
So I was like, "If you come
So-
over here and."
Okay, so they actually send you like an
Well,
offer
I remember
or a
hearing-
contract or
to elaborate on that. I remember
Yeah.
hearing that supposedly like later that the guy mentioned that like Tony when
Chris
they prayed they
Stackpole.
showed the video for him. Tony jumped down his chair, was like, "Let's sign these guys. This is awesome. This is great." And he said that the other guys that were in the back of the room were a bunch of like metalheads, and they even were like telling him that those guys were awesome. That was a great shit. Like that was
Yeah.
awesome. Like we really enjoyed it. So that was cool to hear that. So
Yeah.
that's why we did it anyway, because
Right.
we weren't going to sign with Victory anyways, because everyone had told
okay.
us don't do this, and, so,
But
and
did
we were
you-
actually, we were still
Yeah.
under contract with the foundation.
Oh, okay.
Oh, there you go.
Well, I mean, like, did they actually gave you an offer, or did you go as
They
far
sent-
as like to see
they
what they're
sent
going to
over
offer?
a horrible like
Contract.
horrible contract. It was like some like bullshit ass 6 record deal with
Yeah,
this
that's-
and that.
That
And
sounds
they
just
wanted,
like what Jeremy.
Yeah, exactly.
They wanted
yeah.
to take. They wanted a shot at everything that we weren't. If we were going to print any merch, it had to go through them. It had to be approved by them, and then we had to use them to print it. So like we basically had to pay them for
Yeah.
our merch,
And you're giving their money
and
back.
then
Give them a cut. Of
yeah,
it.
it
Damn,
was like
man, they're
and
getting
then give
cut
them a cut
of
while on
everything.
tour. It was the worst fucking thing you could possibly imagine. You know?
Yeah, fuck that. Fucking Tom.
He probably did like, this band's not going to sue me. Fuck it.
Remember that? Oh God! Remember that?
It was rough.
So
What did we get? Hold on. What did we get flown out to do that one show for?
In Idaho?
God.
What?
Yes.
What's this about?
what, in Idaho?
Yeah.
I want to get
What's this?
I'm Brian's reaction right now. I think Brian should tell this
Foundation
story.
Records set us up on this.
Oh,
I think
dude.
it was
through Charles.
Was it Idaho? It was
Idaho.
It's for a child's birthday? What was that?
No, it was like
no.
it was like a
Potato
college.
boil?
It was a college thing. It was something with like a college night.
Yeah,
And,
baby.
and it was it was a club.
It was like
And they're like, we're gonna fly you guys in. We're gonna put you up in a hotel. This and that. And we show up. They fly, and it's like what? Literally like 3 people.
No, dude.
Jesus.
Okay,
It's like a
Taylor
bunch
got
of-
it.
No. I'm not saying no. Like
No.
you're
No,
going.
no.
Is it like,
Elaborate.
Wasn't there like? I just remember at the end, like an African dude kept on telling us to play Rock, Shock, and Load over and over.
He's like, play it again.
Right?
Play it again. Play it again.
Those were the promoters of the show, and those were the guys that we had
Fucking
dinner
jukebox?
with before the show.
And they were like African, weren't they?
Yes, yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Like,
And-
look, it was weird. It was just
Play
like, play it again. It's like, oh my god.
We played our
No.
set. We played our set for like 15 to 20 people. And they were like, well, there's this other big show.
It was so forced.
There was this other big show going on down the street tonight at this like auditorium. It was I don't even know.
We thought it was
any
going to
other
be some
show,
massive
just
thing, and it was.
It was a
They
joke.
flew us in, did all this stuff. I mean, it was a
We
fun
got paid.
time.
We
It
got
was
paid a little
cool.
over $1,000 as a for the show.
But there was literally.
I just cringe
nobody
thinking
there.
about that.
It was,
That-
and well, the shit is, the thing that makes me cringe about it the most is when we flew home, the fucking airline lost my bass.
Oh, fuck.
Did they find
take
it?
It didn't
off.
matter
Did they
because
find
you're a
it?
bass
Oh,
player.
yeah, fuck yeah. But what? What did you say?
It doesn't matter because you're a bass player.
Oh, okay, yeah,
Hey, asshole.
You can find another bass.
Hey. Yeah, fuck you,
That was a
Rob.
nice Warwick bass you played.
Thank
back
you for
then.
knowing.
See?
Yeah, Warwick.
No, it is a Warwick bass.
Yeah, it was.
Fucking
311 shout out.
It was a $3,500 bass guitar, so they lost it, and finally, after finally contacting them
That was
over
a
and over again.
5-string?
No, it was a.
Oh, I thought you
4-string.
said it was a. I thought you said.
No, he
5-string
said it was
just
a.
now.
It was.
The
It was
thumb.
a. It was a nice. It was,
It was
a thumb,
a Warwick
wasn't it?
thumb
yeah.
neck. Like I said, $3,500 bass guitar. It was a nice
Yeah.
fucking bass.
With tax.
Still have it.
What are we looking
Love
at?
that bass. With tax.
That's a great guitar. That's more than
37
all of my
to-
basses combined.
Yeah.
No, I like
Yeah,
that
Sure,
bass.
yeah.
But anyways,
Yeah.
More
so
than
that
three
was
of them
that was a nightmare. And
It was the-
after
it was the
that
Light Up
goofy
Dot
ass-
Incubus
a
edition.
goofy ass show being like sent out there. It was like what the heck. And then I get home and the airline loses my bass. It was like awesome. Like yeah, that's great.
Man.
Sucks.
You didn't
remember
take it
that-
on the plane with you, like.
No, I had to check it. I had like a hard case for it, and I checked it.
So you always bring a soft case because then they have to let you bring it on the plane. It's a law.
Well, I didn't.
See,
know.
I had cymbals in a soft shell case. They made me take every single one out, and they tested them with the bomb little sniffing
Damn.
device.
Bomb
They-
symbols,
water.
bomb, fucking Hannibal.
Yeah.
I didn't have a soft case.
But
at the
no
time.
one's gonna
I
take you
only had-
serious
I only
on a
had
soft case.
My road case.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
just that. I don't know. That show just always stuck out. As it was
That's
everything.
the
That was so.
Nigerian prince. They're trying to give away the
It
money.
was
They
weird,
didn't have
dude.
anything else to
Son
do
of a
with it.
damn.
It was weird, man. We played
yeah.
Rock, Shock, and Load like 6 times.
For him?
It was
In a row?
No, like
I don't know.
maybe twice, dude.
we played it over
felt
3
like
times.
6
We
times.
played it in our
Times.
set, and then he was like, "I'll play it again." So we played that again.
And play no, Brian, right? Wasn't it like 4
Did he at least
times?
give you
I mean, it was a few days ago, but
Yeah.
I think
But I just remember him
pretty sure
trying to
that
get
was-
everybody into it,
I'm
and it
pretty
was
sure
just,
that was
Yeah.
at least 10 years ago.
It was ridiculous. Yeah, it was really underpromoted and shitty. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
it was a rough show.
I just.
Y'all got paid for it, though,
Oh yeah,
right?
we got
Yeah.
paid. We
Well,
got
then who cares?
No,
Yeah.
we don't.
Flown out on-
I didn't know it bothered Taylor so much.
it didn't bother me. No. Just thinking about it, I felt bad for them because like they were trying to make it into this
they should have promoted it harder.
trying to get everybody into it, but it's like, dude, this isn't.
They should have brought out 200.
man.
They should have packed the house with 100, 200 people.
This is not how you do it, apparently.
Yeah,
Like the way
this
they
is
do
not.
it.
Yeah.
Growing pains, man.
Well,
Favorite tour.
I don't know if we have like enough time, but I just wanted to ask you guys too.
Got
Like,
all the
what
time
was
in
like?
the world,
what was
Is there a
like-
time limit?
You know what? No,
Where's the clock?
not necessarily. We try to keep it an hour, but it's going to go over. It always
It's already
does.
over, I think.
But
Our
you know,
9/11 episode was like 2 hours long, bro. We got
yeah,
time.
yeah. Well, like we asked, this when Jeremy was on too, when he was on tour. I was just curious, like when you guys went on tour, like what was like one of the worst experiences you guys ever experienced?
Nothing.
Nothing. Was it pretty?
I know
good?
one.
I can
I
say
know
one.
one.
No, I do one when
I'm
Mike.
pretty sure the guy sleeping in the van probably has the worst
Well,
experience.
it sounds like you had a fun time, though.
I
He's having a
I love
motherfucking
sleeping in the
time.
van.
I loved
Fucking-
being on tour,
fucking
but
nude.
I didn't love the beginning of one of our tours. I was really sick.
That was my worst time too. It
And
smelled.
It was rough.
What? Oh,
It was
yeah.
really bad. So I had
Body odor and shit.
No, he came down with a weird face.
What
face
happened was
infection.
I had necrotic tissue in my
And that was the
nasal
name of our
cavity.
album that never got released.
chronic tissue.
So how this works, to explain it, was I had when you blow your nose and blah, 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 you blow out dead tissue all the time. What happened was I had a piece of dead tissue stuck in my nasal cavity, and it was basically rotting inside of my nasal cavity.
This is really gross. I feel like we
Yes,
don't need
it's
to
gross.
know all this.
Let's pull up a YouTube video and see what
Yeah. Paul asked the
No,
question.
I
I
gotta
think-
finish this. So let me just get it over with. So I had this horrible amount of just pus and just horribleness coming out of my nostril, and it smelled like death, and it was disgusting.
Yeah.
And this is right when we left for tour. So our first show was in McAllen. We go down to McAllen, Texas. We play the show, and I'm feeling so terrible that I'm like, they're like, dude, we're taking you to the hospital. I'm like, okay. So we go to this ER room in McAllen. And of course, I'm in there with my head in my hands, and I'm like barely even just like making any sound or moving. And Brian's going, "Just go to the light." And I'm like, "You're an asshole, man." And Brian, I'm like, "Shut the hell up, you asshole!" And I'm just like, "Oh my god!" And Brian's like, "Just go to the light."
I thought I was telling you to stay away from the light. Was I telling you to go to it?
You jackass.
Okay.
This reminds me, so like, this is so.
Fucking
No,
dick.
it gets worse. It gets so much worse. Can I finish?
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
sorry.
go ahead, Mike, go ahead.
I'm on a roll here with this one. I'm in the zone. So
I take a flashlight and I start shining it in his face when he's
So
asleep.
It's me.
Fucking
It's
sick,
me.
man.
It's me. It's Brian, and then Mandy, who's helping us with merch and stuff on the road, and helping us manage some stuff on the road.
Oh, yeah, I remember Eric. Yeah.
So, and they finally call me into the back, right? And they're like, we don't know what the hell's wrong with you. You're just in horrible pain in your face. We see that you have all this shit coming out of your face.
And you're wearing sandals.
So they give me a Z-Pack, and they give me like a shot of something. But as we're in there waiting, I can't smell a thing, thank God. They rushed this guy in to the room next to me, and he had been stabbed.
You were in McAllen.
this.
Oh yeah.
And
That makes sense.
all these
this.
people run in, and they're trying to help this guy with this horrible stab
In
wound.
his intestines.
And oh, by the way, so Taylor and Brian weren't there because they went to the house that we were going to stay in that night, which is our friends Gio and I can't remember the other guy's name. We used to go there after every McAllen show,
And we had a huge following in McAllen for some reason.
Yeah, that too. I mean,
Yeah, really.
Just like
we
here,
play at this high
almost.
school every time, and there'd always be like 100 kids, 150 kids.
Damn.
It was always a killer show.
Nice.
So I'm in this horrible ER room, and I'm just laying there, and they've pumped me with some meds, and I'm feeling okay-ish, and I can't smell a thing. I'm just like, I'm like in pain, but they rush this guy in, and Manny's in there, and Brian comes into the back, and so they kind of patch this guy up, but they give him a colostomy bag. And so he
fun.
And so he had shit himself so much from this, or they cleared him out, and the colostomy bag I guess was full and leaking, and so supposedly
Jesus Christ.
the room must have stunk like to hell because Brian comes in, he's like, "Oh my god!" He's like, "What the hell?" I'm like, "Shh, this guy next to us, he's been stabbed and blah blah."
I thought
Shit
they
himself.
stabbed him in the guts and it was leaking like poop out of
Something,
it.
something was really like horrid, and smelled like worse than the stuff that was coming out of my
I don't
face.
envy nurses at all, dude.
So that was the first night of that tour.
Oh shit!
Finally,
That was the first night
of that tour. Yeah.
Oh
God
wow! Way to kick
damn,
off
man.
a tour.
Yeah, exactly. So the rest of that tour tour. So for like a month, we're playing shows, and we're up there. And so what the guys were really nice to do for me is I would be sitting there in the van with my head in my hands, just in pain. They'd go, okay, we're set up on the stage. They would they'd set my gear up. Let's go. And I'd get on the van, walk up there. We'd play this set. And during the set, I'd be trying to rock out, and I'd be flinging snot.
Oh yeah.
And the guys would be like, "It smells so bad, dude." Like, oh my god. And I'm just like, I'm sorry, and I'm like, I'm slinging snot all over the crowd. I'm slinging it on the stage.
I just remember we're driving down like the highway, and I would smell the smell every once in a while, and I'm like, man, where are the dead animals on the side of the road? And then I noticed, I was like, every time Mike was blowing his nose in the back, I was like, that's what it is.
Jesus Christ, man.
So long story. After this tour, we had to stop in Houston, so I got it kind of looked at by Ian, and was it Ian?
ENT?
ENT. I went to an ENT. They looked at it and they were like, okay, so this is what's going on. That's when they told me I had this dead tissue thing. They were like, you need surgery. So I went into surgery. They cleared it all out and cut it all out and blah, 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 and fixed it. But it was like,
where did they open your face up to get in there?
they went through my nostril. And
they went through
his dick. Endoscopic.
Through the dick area, huh?
Yeah, it's big enough. So they were like, okay, that's cool.
We can get all our tools up there we need, man.
Luckily, we have plenty of room.
I've got a video of that. I'll show you guys after.
Jesus Christ, Brian.
We'll put that on YouTube. We'll post that on our YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So that was the worst experience for me personally. And everybody else.
I don't know that we can top that. But you got anything to top that?
I guess I ruined the beginning of that tour for everybody. I'm sorry, guys.
Jesus.
There was not one bad moment on tour.
Well, besides you falling off stage.
Did I?
Oh, yeah. When you
I was there.
When you ate it off stage and like rolled your ankle real bad.
What?
Where?
You tried. It was in Dallas, like I was there. Me and Lewis. It was a San Antonio show. Then it was like somewhere near. I think it was Round Rock, somewhere near Dallas.
Was it a short?
Round Rock is
Was it a short stage?
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
yeah, it wasn't-
Well,
it
up there,
wasn't-
some rock and shit. Whatever. It was near Dallas.
It was like a 2
from
foot
what I remember.
stage.
Yeah, and you fell off. It was funny. It was, and then like, and I remember Smartass.
I rolled my ankle, but
Yes.
I didn't break it or anything. Okay,
Yes.
I remember that.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Go ahead, Brian. Interject.
No, Brian.
I just gave you your worst experience for
I was just jumping back to
And
our
that
previous
wasn't even
conversation.
a bad worst
How
show.
Mike got ready for the surgery. It's
fucking asshole. Good looking to the light,
Yeah.
whispering, go to the
No,
light. Shit, that's fucked up, man.
Put that.
it's
close your phone,
relative
dude.
to what we were talking about, but I'm not going to ruin.
Who was that
I'm not
tour?
gonna
Who was
ruin
that
it.
tour with?
I
The
think
very
that was
first.
just the one-off.
No, the first tour.
Oh.
Was with the stereo.
That's a good question, man.
Was that a stereo and
It was either
Callahan?
that or was that okay? That wasn't the Mechanical Boy tour, right? When we went down there with Mechanical Boy, we did a short stint with them and like in McAllen, Austin, and I think San Antonio. Do you guys remember that?
I remember
Back to
touring
the
on
Feud
them.
tour?
Yeah, Feud tour.
Yeah, that was with Asteria. Yeah, okay, so that was with Asteria, and Mechanical Boy was on for the first like couple shows.
Yeah, Texas ones.
Yeah,
Man, my memory sucks.
No, it doesn't. My memory sucks.
I just want
there
to
was another band on it
interject.
too. I think Select Start was on that later. maybe.
Well, I just want to interject a little bit. So, like, Paul and Jake, how do you guys how do you guys know the Armada? Like, how did that like
My dick.
That's why. Now, well, for one,
where does that relationship come from? You know what I mean?
well,
Like,
we went to high school with Taylor and Brian.
Shelton.
And,
Okay.
Brian
Brian
Shelton,
Shelton,
yes.
yeah.
And for one, my bad, Brian, for not reaching out. If you're listening to this,
We miss you, Brian.
Nah, he's all right,
Miss
dude.
you
Brian.
sold out to L.A., so screw you.
Doing all right, Brian.
Come on, we went out there. We did our thing.
Yeah, you guys poured your hearts out there,
So,
man.
It was-
so
it's
y'all went to
fun.
high
Jesus
school.
Christ, Brian.
It's fun out there, man.
Now, once you're there, man, you definitely want to come back.
So,
to
God damn it, man.
so what's funny is like
Get that away from me.
I know Paul and Jake because I answered a Craigslist ad looking for a bass player. But
Don't look. Never
Brian,
look.
hold on.
I'm not
Brian just posted a video of just, I don't know what the fuck it was. All I saw was skin, possibly a dick, and I don't know what else is there,
That's a
but it was
toe.
just disgusting.
so, yeah, that's how going up.
Typical Brian.
Yeah.
It is typical Brian. And Brian and
damn it, man.
Brian and I went to high school together
Yeah,
for
yeah.
a short time before you moved after your freshman or sophomore. It was my sophomore year. What year did you graduate? You graduated like 02? 03?
Supposed to be 02. I think,
He was a little slow. He got held back.
Well,
I was a fifth year senior.
Oh, so you went to Langham, huh?
He went to Langham for a year. I was a sophomore and he was a freshman.
Fucking white privilege.
Like we
God damn it, man!
we rode the same school bus together. Like we
the
hang
little
out.
yellow one.
We made fun of all the retarded kids in the back.
You were the camp counselor, right?
Yeah, no. I was the guy that sat there and listened to Brian fucking dog on everybody on the bus. It was pretty fun. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I don't remember
Yeah.
any of that, and I'm sorry
But-
to anyone I hurt.
Kind of going back to like
Yeah.
as far as the history, me and Jacob know these guys. Like, we knew Taylor and Brian from high school.
And we miss you, Brian, by
And
the
also
way.
too, we used to share a practice studio with them and
Right.
rhythm
I mean,
room.
that's how we all know.
And then
like,
that's
that's
how
how everybody kind of
we
came
just
together. like
and
that.
from there we just try to see who would last the longest and shit as far as like editing time. I mean, I'm sorry,
Edging?
that's sexual.
In the circle.
I'm sorry, I meant like like just musically, but yeah, we just
So-
did.
Well, no, I went to shows watching Brian's band and Paul and Jacob.
Yeah,
Well, and
that's
Jamar
before-
Bean.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
Jamar
Jamar Bean. I don't mean to laugh at you,
Unrelated.
Jamar. Just if you listen to this,
Unrelated.
Yeah.
Then Brian when he was in Serene and Ignite the Morning.
yeah,
And,
yeah.
I mean,
Fucking, Morningside Drive and what's it called? They had a show recently.
Yeah. They did it with a bunch of old band.
I forgot.
Where were you?
were in.
I was one of the original members of Morningside
Yeah,
Drive.
yeah.
Were you really?
I didn't see you on stage.
Heating up.
Because we didn't
Heating
know.
up.
What's funny about that is Micah reached out to me and wanted the Armada to play that show. And then he also was like,
How would we pull
That was
off?
my chance to come
asked-
back.
How would we pull that off? Via
I'll sing
hologram?
for you guys. Don't worry about it.
That was my chance to come back and
Live
take
via
over the
from-
music scene. Why
That's
didn't you
fucked
say
up.
yes?
Nah, but he
You
did-
should have said yes, dude. I'll sing
Yeah.
for you. I got you.
Penitentiary. That's
Well,
fucked up.
when I
We
was
were
talking
gonna
to
let
him,
Taylor do it.
when I was talking to him, I was like, you
Live
should
from the penitentiary. Yeah. He's out.
Oh my god, dude.
It's cool. It's cool.
That's
It's
great,
cool.
man.
Yeah. Back to
Dude.
yeah.
But anyway, so Micah did actually was like, dude, you should even play on like one tune with this kind of thing, like full circle. And I was like, yeah, cool, man.
yeah, cool, man.
It would have been interesting.
Play on one
It would have
tune.
been cool.
All right. So on that note,
It would have been kind of cool.
on that note, so let's talk about like at the end of
Hold on, before we talk about the end of it. On that note,
Oh, fuck you.
it was always badass to me because I saw.
No, actually, let me tell you about a little
okay,
something.
tell me about it.
Shut up.
Tell me. No, I
Would you
I
look at
watched.
that?
I saw Mike play with Morningside Drive
With
when he was in the
fans?
band and the finalist. And when
finalist.
I got in the band, they were doing they had the video for what movie were they going to be in? Or song
that
Hills
Hills
Have
Have Eyes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they were like,
soundtrack. Yeah.
major label record, signed.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh damn,
Maverick.
But dude, and then I'm tooting our own horn, or just maybe in my eyes, but like, dude, it didn't take any time for us to just overshadow every other.
Yeah, no,
really,
you're
really
right. You guys did.
Yeah, guys
you
just-
fucking did. You guys
And it all went. It didn't. I mean, the songs, were there, but it's work ethic.
I mean,
it is working.
And Brian,
I do-
and Brian was the
Improvisational
one
drum
who always would have an idea to
Yeah.
be like, let's go stand outside of a Jonas Brothers show.
Which Brian? I mean,
Brian Smith, right?
Yeah.
Well, no, Brian
What-
Sheldon and Mike. Oh, well,
yeah.
I
Well,
just
you know-
follow along because I didn't know. It was my first time
Yeah.
to do all of it, so it was just like, okay,
Weren't
yeah.
you like? I do remember you guys telling me when you guys first released the new you. Wasn't it popular in Japan? Or were
Well,
you guys
there was a Japan release.
there
Yeah,
was
I
a
have
Japan,
it.
or Japan. Okay, that's
That was
what it was.
after
No, that was
Rock
Sweet
Shock
Teas.
and
Sweet
Low.
Teas,
That was
right?
after
That was,
Rock Shock
but
and Low.
okay, because he also did the new you, the old us. Like that was that re-release. What was that?
that
Like
was
that
a-
was just was that for Japan or
No, that was a B-side thing we just kind of like did, and then
Yeah.
that actually part of that was Brian Sheldon and I kind of set that up, and then
Yeah.
put it online, and then like, hey guys, by the way, we're putting up a B-sides record.
Okay.
We kind of did that under the radar and didn't
Right.
tell the rest of the guys. And
Oh, that sounds like
they
shit. What we
kinda
do in the
weren't
project too here.
They weren't too in love with us doing that without telling them, I guess, in the first place. But
So the idea of Train to Tokyo
Ooh.
actually came up with the kind of
It's a great chorus in that song.
Yeah, I came up with the chorus of that part, and I thought that's the only thing that I came up with. And I guess that Josh wrote the song around it, but
He lived there.
I thought if we could write one song that would take us to Japan, blow up in Japan,
Nice.
let's do it. Let's throw
Oh.
Tokyo in a song.
Yeah, man.
So is that what did it?
We never
Or-
made it to
I don't
Japan.
Damn it!
Well, there was a band called Big in Japan, and
That's a
like,
name.
yeah, there was a punk band back.
We never
in,
even
like,
got on a train.
98, 99.
Sure, we did.
Hey, I gotta say though, Real
At least
World
get on
is
a
still
fucking train.
still holds to this day that song could be a huge pop hit.
I don't disagree. It is a very
Misery was a
great
really
pop
good
song.
Real
too,
World,
man.
the lyrics, the everything about that song is like holy shit. This
Oh,
song
Real
should have.
World?
Yeah, it should have been huge. It should have been huge.
Hey, watch out for the
How did
shit,
that song
bro.
go?
Lit. I'm not gonna say.
Because I'm living in a real
Yeah,
world.
you're gonna have to go back and listen to that one.
I got a punk.
Taylor has some vocal parts in that song.
So how did y'all get set up with? Was this the whole your manager setting up the whole Hot Topic deal? I know you're playing at Hot Topic shows as well. I know we're trying to get to the conclusion, but there's so many other things.
I was just trying to take it
Hot
organically
Topic-
through a conversation. Let's.
Hot Topic was through a separate network thing. I forget. It was, I think, either Brian Shelton or maybe Buckley, but met somebody who knew somebody, through the Hot Topic merch, the merchandise kind of side of it, and we were kind of doing our thing, and then that's when we started doing Hot Topic shows. So before we kind of had all of our merch, shirts in the Hot Topics,
right.
we kind of talked to them, hey, let us do this like a show, acoustic show in the Hot Topic. And so I think it was the first one we did up at Willowbrook, and we brought like 300 people. I mean,
That's
it was
fucking crazy.
Into the Hot Topic at
it was
Willowbrook?
packed. You can see it on YouTube.
Yeah.
It's like there was a line all the way out. There was a huge crowd outside the store. The whole store was full of people. We played like a little acoustic set. It was nuts.
Taylor and I tried on some skin tight leather raver suits.
Oh my god!
It was nuts.
Bought them.
So that started like, hey, we should have bands playing our freaking, like that was the first time they'd ever done that.
That's awesome.
Interesting.
And we killed it. We brought like I said like 300 kids, something like that. It was packed. The mall was like, what the hell is going on?
14 and 15-year-olds didn't know what to do.
Basically, yeah. So that started the Hot Topic launch. So that's when we got shirts.
Round the fuck out of it.
That's when we got our shirts in there while we were on the road.
They're interrupting. It's okay. They're talking about their fucking vape dick over there. That's fine.
But that was another cool thing about having that partnership. That was
That's cool. That's really cool.
a huge milestone for us for sure.
So, you guys have been touring and playing and stuff like that. Everything kind of came to a head all at once. It seemed like y'all like the train to Tokyo kind of just hit a brick wall. So, what happened? Like, I know there was, from the limited amount that I know, there was a departure of Josh from the band.
Well, so first and foremost, we recorded Hell Yeah. I don't remember that. You
I remember that. Hell yeah!
You guys ready to play?
You guys ready to suck some dick? Hell yeah!
So we kind of wrote and recorded that song as a one-off while we were in Houston. And
Sorry, guys.
and so then we were like, all right, let's start. And then that kind of got us into the mode of like, hey, we haven't written a full-length record. Let's sit down. Let's write a freaking full-length record and put out a full-length. And so we got into Ivory Tower Studios to sit down and have this talk with Mike Thompson, who we had recorded some stuff with here and there, and who we did Hell Yeah with, and he's in the Heights in Houston.
Yeah,
Great
I'm
sound.
familiar with Ivory Tower. Ivory
Tower. He doesn't do it anymore.
That.
He's done. The studio's closed, which is really unfortunate because it's a beautiful studio. So
I will tell you this: that Magic Studios over there behind Guitar Center is still open.
Hey, I recorded there.
We made a phone call checking in on them one night during a podcast.
It's a joke, man.
Oh, my
Between
God.
Are
me
they
and this
really
guy,
there
man.
Are they really there?
Oh yeah, we
yeah.
called them one night on a podcast, probably a year ago, maybe.
Yeah,
Wow.
because we would always ask, like, "Hey, is Legs there? Can we speak to Legs?" And like the guy, like we've been doing it for over 10 years since we started recording there. And when we did it in a podcast, he's like, "Has this junk run its course?" He knows. It's like every once a year we call him like, "Hey, it's an anniversary, fucker. It's us again." So you know,
That's what.
Is it the owner's name's like Kareem?
Kareem
Kareem
Khurshid.
Khurshid, yeah.
Dude. Good-
Call him legs because his legs, just
Paul's jealous.
I have
He's
nothing.
got legs.
yeah.
I am not
Yeah.
part of that, sir.
Yes, you are. You are the fucking mastermind behind
No.
that.
Hey,
Absolutely not.
if
Not
we've got
you,
the time
him.
tonight, let's call him.
Yeah, right. It's been a while. We should, right?
That's the instigator. Jesus Christ.
No, we could tell him.
Mr. Abdul Jabbar.
Kareem.
You're recording.
No, he can. We're actually.
He's white, by the
Me
way.
and Brian
folks.
are going to go.
At least I think he is.
Probably track our stoner doom band there.
Yeah. You showed me.
Magic?
Is that what you showed
Brian's
me?
like, what?
Is that what you
Why don't you
showed
do
me?
it here?
Yeah.
If we could ever find a bass player. Oh,
Yeah.
wait, we got two of them here.
It's not hard, guys.
Yeah. It's
Fine,
not hard to
baseball.
play
Especially going
bass.
to get to that, but yeah. Well, like kind of going back. Look, I know we're kind of hipping and hopping over here on
Is
things.
your hair fucked up, Taylor? Is that why you still
So
have
hey,
your headphones on?
I guess to get back on topic, so we
Yes.
met up to sit down and talk about the direction of a full length record,
Right. There you
and
go.
we kind of some of us were on the same page, and Josh was very much not, and
What was the direction like you guys were going to try to go
so
for?
we kind of wanted to keep moving from that song Hell Yeah into
Yeah.
more of like like a classic rock, new rock
Yeah.
kind of sound to get back to some of the new you,
Yeah.
bring
More
like that
leads
vibe
and
back.
Okay.
Bring in
Harmonize
some
guitar
more
parts
stuff.
and
Yeah,
stuff
some
like
more
that.
kind of a rock sound and get out of that pop, rock.
Right. Right.
To
A
move
little
on,
more
move
mature
from
sound.
pop rock to just like rock.
Yeah.
And I remember Josh's kind of like face kind of just being like, what? Like when we were all like, what? Because he wasn't looking to go that route. And it's funny though, because when we were writing songs and when Josh was writing songs, it always depended on what he was listening to at the time. So if he was listening to Jonas Brothers, he'd come in with the poppiest stuff you could imagine. And that's when like La La came out. And that's when a lot of other stuff that never got recorded was like, we wrote tunes and we have demos versions of on like, our iPods. But it's like, and then so at one point he was listening to REO Speedwagon. And so it was like, okay, cool. Now he's coming.
No,
It
it was
was
ELO.
Yeah, ELO.
Excuse me.
Oh, ELO? Really?
Electric Light Orchestra.
He was ELO?
Which was kind of cool, but I mean,
real
it was still,
progressive.
still, it was like, so all of a sudden he'd come in with, stuff that was like, well, no, I'm listening to this and I want to do stuff like this. And it was just like, okay, cool. And so when we got in to write this record, we started talking about it. And then all of a sudden Josh is like, hey guys, I got to go. I'm going to go see my family for like a month
2
or some
weeks.
shit like that. It was like 2 weeks. And he was
Well,
like,
where was he from? Like, he wasn't from Houston.
Temecula, California. So his family was down in Temecula. He was like, I gotta go hang out with my family for a blah blah blah. And we're like, all right, cool, man. I remember I didn't think anything twice.
He was
of it.
in
I don't
Houston
think-
because he actually came down here with another band and they broke up. And
No,
he
they
had a
didn't break
job.
up. Their trailer got stolen, and Josh was a guitar player for the band.
So it
All of his
eventually
stuff got
broke them
stolen,
up.
and we had another guy try out for us, and Josh was trying to help the guy with like vocal lessons, and that guy told Josh like, "Oh, you should come try out."
I
for
know,
the
I know, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
He was. We kicked him out twice in our bands too.
We're talking about
Shit. Okay.
What was his
No,
name?
go ahead, drop his name.
Wasn't it?
Brandon.
Brandon
Brandon.
Warnke.
Yeah.
Oh,
He ended up being in a country band that toured around.
Yeah,
He's doing it right
yeah.
now.
He's doing
No,
pretty good.
He kicked me out.
You know what?
You can grow a cool-ass beard.
Brandon's got, Brandon's
Yeah.
a great guy. I mean,
Yeah.
honestly, like personality
We had
wise,
good
like
times.
I have nothing against Brandon.
Yeah.
He's made himself a successful musician as a bass
yeah,
player,
for sure.
and I mean he's.
I like him
toured
even
with
more
a
that he got
couple-
rid of his gauges.
Yeah, he got
Oh,
surgery.
yeah, he
got
had
that surgery.
Yeah.
It looks pretty
Yeah,
good
that's
too.
like
It looks like he
spaghetti.
never had gauges.
Now he's just like rocking a fat beard.
Yeah,
And he's
motherfucker.
he's
got a
plays
great
bass
beard.
for,
He's got a
he's-
great beard and a skinny mustache.
He's
I don't
doing,
know.
he's
They
doing
don't
well.
really-
And I've
Bart
everything
Crow
I've
or
seen.
something, right? Isn't
Yeah,
that
yeah,
who
he plays with
does he
Bart
play?
Crow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's done great for himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I've noticed
Yeah.
a lot of guys
That's good.
from our ages going like country bands now. Like,
I played country Americana music.
Yeah.
That's how.
Get the fuck out of here.
Fucking Americana. I hate that.
I love that
you
awesome
can-
No,
album.
not that kind of music. This that name to me is just like what?
of your own studio.
Hey guys, that was a great Offspring album. Okay,
Oh, really? I don't know.
There you go. Yeah,
didn't
sure.
they have an album called?
Yeah, you're
Okay,
Americana,
okay.
yeah.
Weezer just came out
When
with a
they
new
sold
album.
out.
Weezer. Yeah, did you have you heard the Teal
Not yet,
album? It's
no.
a cover album.
I know.
It's really fucking good.
Does Paranoid sound like they're trying to sound like Black
No,
Sabbath,
it's,
or is
it's
it
just
they're-
Weezer playing? It's like, hey, what if
they play
the
it?
whole album sounds like, hey, let's like Weezer in a studio, like hanging out rehearsing, like, hey, let's try to play. Everybody wants to rule the world.
But they didn't make it like a Weezer style. They're
No.
playing it like
Yeah,
Paranoid.
they're just
Okay,
Weezer
cool.
playing.
Sweet.
Yeah, I mean, Rivers Como is a fucking great guitar player.
Yeah.
I mean, he can shred his ass off. You know what I mean? So, like, that's a great band all around. Everybody in that band.
I've
is
never had a
super-
problem with Weezer at all. Man.
Yeah, I haven't either. My wife is a fucking diehard Weezer fan, so like I have to deal with everything that they do.
Not a bad
Hey,
thing.
nobody fucking talks shit about Coheed and Cambria when you're sucking their dick. You know what I
Hey,
mean?
but it's Coheed and
Motherfucker,
Cambria.
I wasn't fucking
It's Coheed and
appreciating
Cambria.
that.
though.
Apollo.
So,
Thee Armada.
can we harmonize again, all of us? Like how we did, oh, fuck, Mark Wood. Fuck yeah, bro.
No, we did. What was the podcast that we did? We did a harmony vocal.
That
we
was one of
recorded
the days,
on,
or
no, it was
straight to banging. Straight to banging. Straight to banging.
yeah.
Have control of you.
We all harmonize like in wait.
Way you smack my ass.
What the
Dirty things you do.
This is what
A little
happens.
taste of
Puddle
Brian
of
and
Mud,
Taylor's
yeah.
Puddle of Mud.
rock band. You know,
1999.
They're gonna do
Fuck
some
yeah.
Puddle of Mud covers.
yeah, man.
It's my turn.
Fucking
Stoner rock
hate
Puddle of Mud covers.
you.
So this is what
Nah,
happens when
nah,
there's
nah.
20 empty cans of beer on the table. We kind of go off
There's
track.
not 20 empty cans.
Close to it. Close to
Not
it.
yet.
I see 3 unopened. That'll make 20.
If anyone hasn't watched the meltdown videos of the Puddle of Mud singer, like in the
I've seen those.
go watch them.
Oh my god, it's sad, man.
Oh, poor
What the
guy.
fuck, man?
Brian, I feel like you're like the king of internet videos. You know?
I love the
Never
internet.
watch a video when
Maybe
Brian says,
certain
"Hey, come check
videos,
this out."
Not just internet.
Yeah,
videos.
walk
Watch
away,
this.
like Mike says. Walk away when
Never.
Brian asks you to check this video
And
out.
now he has a cell
Run
phone.
for
he's
your
extra
lives.
dangerous. 'Cause
Yes,
he can be
extra
sneaky
dangerous.
about it. Before it was like, come over to my
YOLO.
laptop and see this. He really had to go to like a place. Now he's just like, boom, here's a video in your face. You're like, oh my god.
Is that a toe in a dick hole? Oh my god!
Yeah, you can't
Yeah.
unsee the shit he shows
That's
you.
the kind of shit he was doing.
All right, guys.
I mean,
All right, so
To get back,
what-
We got to chill
Josh
down
went
in
to
the Avalanche.
Temecula.
Yeah.
So Josh is going to Temecula. to
Josh
visit
tells
his
us he's
family.
going to
Yeah.
go to Temecula, and so again, long story short, Josh is not in Temecula.
well, he didn't even tell us. He just disappeared, and we were like, "Where'd you go?" we
Yeah,
finally
he
get a hold of him. Like, "Oh, I got a
he
free plane
keeps
ticket to go
telling
back
us-
home."
Yeah, he keeps telling us he's out of town. He's out of town. I'm going to be here longer. I'm going to be here longer. And we're like, and so we're like, okay, and then. I think he comes back and he's like, we need
He
to have a
shows
band
up.
meeting. We need to have a band meeting.
Yeah.
And it was like, well, that's weird because we don't
How
usually-
long was he gone?
Weeks.
Weeks, a month, probably about a month. And what he was doing, he was actually he got a call from our manager who had got a call from someone at Fueled by Ramen Records. It was like, hey, we're putting this band together. We have the guys already. We've seen a singer, and they were like, we heard this song.
It was all the guys from Power Space.
Yeah. And they heard Raven's Way, and they were like, "Is this guy the singer that sang in this song? Because we're looking for this sound. We're looking for this sound." And our manager was like, "Yeah, that's the guy, you know." And so he was like, "Hey, Josh." He contacted Josh, you know, unbeknownst to us, we didn't know, and was like, "This is what's up." They
Are you opening another beer, Paul?
Yeah.
All right, well, I'm gonna open it for you.
They're like, we
Oh,
want you to
thanks.
come check this out. And so he went up there and recorded with, and they already had the songs written and recorded. He just went up there and sang vocals that were already laid out for him. You know, all the lyrics, all the melodies. They were just like, hey, sing exactly like this. These are the words. Go.
Yeah.
And it was supposedly the guy, the producer was the guy who was produced a bunch of Seven Dust records, and it was up in Chicago. And so he did it and was like, cool, it's badass, I love it. And that's when, you know, that they were called Bad City. And he comes down to tell us, like, hey guys, you need to meet up. I'm quitting, I'm leaving the band, I'm gonna go join this other band.
Just like that.
I've been up there recording this whole time. Bye.
That's pretty
Basi-
shitty.
It was roughly like that. It was that
Peace
you know,
sign,
sincere.
middle finger.
It wasn't
Wow.
any like, I'm gonna miss you guys. You know, I'm you know, thank you for everything. Or I'm sorry. It was just really just like.
So how long is this
peace.
time period from when
Straight up
Josh joined the
business
band
move.
to when this happened?
When-
2 years?
4.
Wait, what do you mean?
From when y'all were like, Josh is our singer.
Oh,
to this point, right?
3.5 years.
3.5 years.
He just ripped it off like a band-aid, just like that.
Yeah, something like that. Something like that.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So no love, no hate.
Well,
or no from him at least.
Well, there was lots of there was lots of love hate already going on the road. There was times when all of us got in fights.
Well, yeah.
There was times we had yelling matches on the
you
road.
stick
There
4
was
or 5
times
guys in a van for
talk
months and
about
weeks
this.
at a time.
There was times when Brian and Josh were throat to throat. When I and Josh were throat to throat. I mean, there was all kinds of crazy times, and it's crazy because
Josh was the only one who could use the piss hole in the van too. That pissed me off.
Hey, what?
that's not true.
Wait, what? Say
We had a
again?
glory hole in the.
Oh,
we
you don't want to
we
use
had a
it?
glory hole in the floor of the van
Okay,
because this
hold
was a
on,
travel
back up.
van. No, back up. Travel van. Our van used to have you could put a table in the back.
That's what
Yeah.
I was explaining.
So the table
Yeah.
didn't come with the van when we bought it.
Uh-huh.
So there was just an open, exposed hole
Yeah.
literally to the ground.
through
So
the van.
instead of having to stop,
So you lay down.
we lay down.
You lay down.
Why
You
would
had to
Josh
lay
be the
down
only one
piss?
using
Because
it?
he was
Because
short
in
and
between the
skinny.
seats and look at me.
It was the size of a
Brian.
Pringles can.
You never thought about You never thought about getting
Yeah, it's not a Pringle can. I couldn't fit my shit in there.
larger, taller people than
But
him.
you never thought about getting
You've never heard of a funnel?
yeah,
You couldn't get
an
a
engine
funnel?
funnel? Oil funnel?
We had a funnel.
Where the fuck were you,
funnel,
Rob?
like a long.
Then you'd have to sit on your
We
knees and
bought
kind
a
of like.
funnel
yeah.
for Mandy.
Oh my god!
Oh God!
So that's
I feel like all you needed was a big
Jesus.
towel and a funnel, and you'd be okay.
she could have the option to use it too, and she obviously never used it.
Oh,
but
yeah.
we
Yeah.
had the funnel for her. We were like,
Yeah.
hey,
The thing
Could've
was,
just
the thing
squatted
was-
with a kilt and a
the
funnel.
options
you had
there.
to lay on the floor, and basically all your.
Hey, speaking to the microphone.
I'm sorry, I'm
drummer.
trying to. You had to lay on the floor, and your whole just imagine laying on the floor and trying to urinate. Like it's just the pressures
I've done
are
that.
all off.
Yeah.
And Josh was
Seems hilarious too.
Josh was
Your
just
pants
little
were pissed
and
on.
nimble
Yeah,
and
that
could fucking
happens all
do
the
it.
time.
Yeah, man.
But when you
that
have to
happens to me all the
aim
time.
it, when you have to aim it through a little hole in the back of the seat of the van, it's a lot more difficult than you think.
He was little and
Josh
nimble
would,
and could just get down there.
He'd be laying sideways, just on his phone, "What's up?"
Well, it's crazy. It's ironic how they listen to Raven's Way because, in my opinion, that's like the most Southern style song that you guys threw out there.
Well, that's
and that
just
fits
like-
their
the
their
thing
fucking.
is-
Well, that's just like your
band.
opinion, man.
I don't know, but that
The
fits
band that
their
they started, it was a Def Leppard ripoff.
Yeah, exactly, and it fits their style.
it was the point.
So if y'all didn't, did
Are you
you
talking about Bad City?
We don't.
Yeah.
We don't.
Yeah.
We don't need to rip on them. Like we're here.
No,
to talk about
Dude,
I'm
I
not
think they
ripping
would have
on
got.
these guys.
I don't.
I'm not ripping on them, but I'm just thinking like if you guys did not create Raven's Way, you think they would have gravitated to like Hotels and Heroin or like another song?
I don't
at
know.
all?
I don't know.
Who knows?
It's hard to say, right? But I
Maybe
mean,
not even.
It's because there was some screaming in that song, and
Yeah.
so they got a taste of
which is a badass
of him
fucking song.
screaming.
I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I love that
Yeah.
opening, the intro riff. And is that you, Taylor? Like just creating the.
Yes.
I brought that in one
Yeah, Brian was like
I think Brian recorded.
while I was writing the drum parts, I just made the guitar part. You're gonna play this.
Taylor was right. Yeah,
That is Taylor's style. If I heard that song, like that's fucking Taylor.
Going back to Betsy, I think they could have been huge.
could have been. They should have been. They had the
Yeah.
opportunity.
Yes,
and they
I
didn't,
know.
and
Okay,
they- and
but moving
Yeah.
on.
Right.
So,
Moving on. So
Why?
I mean, so but you.
they toured with fucking Smashing Pumpkins.
Yeah,
First
Kiss
tour.
too.
Kiss and,
Yes.
and then Eric
Shinedown.
Johnson
and then Shinedown. It was like
Shinedown.
Shine
did a
Down.
Shinedown tour.
I didn't
Shine
know
Down.
that.
Yeah, dude. So it's like that's
I know too.
The Shine Down singer is awesome.
if you're given those opportunities and you don't blow up, it wasn't meant to be.
I remember him.
Yeah.
Josh, like there's a
You know-
YouTube video of him like
Yeah.
and Eric Johnson and he fucking introduced
Oh,
Eric.
yeah.
Eric Johnson's
that's
playing
right.
in the House of Blues tonight.
Yeah.
Oh, is it?
Close to Dover.
Oh, Cliffs of Dover.
Yeah, Ultra Cliffs.
But,
Ultra Cliffs.
so the based on that reaction, like when that happened,
too.
what was the like? I mean, I can only imagine what the
We were
gut reaction.
pissed.
Yeah,
We were
but
all,
like, what was the direction from that point on? Sorry, Paul.
The direction
Yeah.
was what the fuck, you know?
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
then
like,
it was,
oh, wow.
and then it was also okay. And then
So-
everybody got mad.
Yeah.
Everybody had their own like thing
Yeah.
thing they were angry with.
Taylor, I still remember you calling me. We talking for like an hour and a half or two about this, like telling me the whole story, like and when this happened, like it was just it just sucked that you just decided to leave. It was just, I can't imagine devastation. Like, that just sucked for you guys. I mean, I felt bad. It just.
The worst part is how by surprise it took all.
Yeah, that was
right.
It was like,
You just put so much
Shocked.
time into something, and
Yeah.
all the work into it, and the next thing you know, it's like, oh, that's gone. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
and
not like you
Time
build it up for
invested.
yourself.
shitty thing too. I mean, we did
Yeah,
two final
It's a
shows,
collective.
Right.
And so we
well,
did.
that being said, too, like, besides that, like, you guys feel satisfied to what you've accomplished. I think you guys did a lot.
Yeah,
I'm so like grateful to know you guys, and because like me and Jacob, we looked up to you guys, and you're goddamn right.
You better be goddamn.
It's just,
Brian has a
it's
video to
just,
show.
yeah, no shit. Well, later on, yeah, of course. We'll see 'em.
Strap them down.
But it just, I think, you guys did a hell of a lot.
Thank you, man.
It's
Thank you.
amazing,
I mean, on
man.
the
It
final
really is.
show where
It's
you
good-
where you
No,
proposed to your
looking back, it's always just like, sorry to cut you off. It's
No, you're
always
good,
just
you're
like, it was amazing. It was an awesome experience.
So
Yeah.
I'm not as well versed on the Thee Armada history. After that meeting with Josh, was that just it? Like the band was done, or did y'all do like a farewell show, tour, recording EP or anything? Like what happened after that?
farewell show.
We did two shows. We did one in the studio at Warehouse Live where we did, we played the New You start to finish, and that's when we announced that we were breaking up. And that was an awesome show. It was packed, and everyone loved it. It was amazing. Everyone was like, "Oh my god, this is awesome!" Because it felt amazing. I remember that show. We played.
Yeah.
It was the vibe was badass. We played great. We were all into it, and it was like, cool. We're breaking up, and this is awesome. Like this,
Yeah.
it felt like. It was like it was inspiring. It was I don't even know what else, it was like, holy shit. It was like, god damn. And then that's when we announced that we were breaking up, and then we booked a show in the ballroom, and we had 600-700 people there.
Yeah, a lot of
And it was
fucking
like we're still booking 700 people in the ballroom Warehouse Live, and we're breaking up.
Wow,
It was
I
like,
know, dude. That's
it was
Yeah.
like this, and I remember looking at Brian Shelton all night long, and he was like, just looked pissed off the whole night on stage. And I remember asking him, like, "Hey, man," because I remember looking at him, like, trying to get his attention between songs, be like, "Is everything okay? Are you cool?" And then he wouldn't talk to me, so I was like, "Are you mad at me?" And he was just later on at the show, I was like, "What was going on?" He was just like, "Man, I was just pissed. This sucks. This sucks."
Yeah,
And
I mean,
he was
I
like, look at what we're doing here.
Yeah.
I can imagine as a
kept
musician
going.
that has played multiple different venues and things like that, and if you're selling your own original music and you're selling 500, 600, 700 people selling out a place, and you're like, yeah, we're breaking up because this fucking cockwad over here wants to go do whatever the fuck he's doing. You know what I mean? I can understand how like that would be like super frustrating. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
But I mean, like that's the thing is like, I feel like as an original band going into it, like you found Josh, but he wasn't invested in the band from the very beginning. Like, and I feel like that's what you have to have, from the beginning. Like, if you have a singer that's invested in the band from the beginning.
I mean, we have lots of stories.
You know what
There's
I mean?
lots of stuff. I mean, we can
Unfortunately,
talk a
you
lot.
can
We can talk
replace-
a lot of shit for a lot of things, a lot of reasons.
Well, I'm just saying, like you can replace drummers, you can replace guitar players and bass players, but like a lot of times the singer's like the
Not this
voice
drummer.
of the band. I mean,
Well, I remember I was reading an article from you ever heard of Under the Gun Review? They wrote this in 2008, and they were like, "Thee Armada, keep an eye on them. That they're shooting for the stars, and they're going to be the face. They're going to be on the cover of AP magazine and all this shit. You know what I mean?" And I was reading that earlier today, and I'm like, man, I know that's going to be tough to fucking bring that up because
Look at us now, boy.
But you know what I mean? It's like I can't even imagine because you're right. That last show, y'all guys had a fucking packed house, and
Yeah.
well, shit.
There was
that
a-
was
there,
the night
man.
Brian
Yeah.
proposed to his,
Yeah.
his now wife.
And that
He's got
one
kids.
ruined
He's
it.
got his own business. I mean, like this just happens. And the crazy thing about it is, there's so many amazing musicians out there and badass bands out there that this happens to
all the time. Yeah,
all the time.
it's crazy.
I mean, just in Houston, fuck, Mechanical Boys should have been huge.
Oh,
they were
yeah.
amazing.
well, that's
Yeah,
that
fuck
go,
yeah.
You know what this reminds me of?
Stadium should have been huge.
Stadium.
They
You know
were
what?
amazing.
You know what this reminds me of? I mean, I hate to be like super cliche, but that movie, The Thing You Do. You know what I mean? The
One Hit-
at
The
end of
Wonders?
it, he's like, "Oh, the one hit wonders."
It's a
Very common story.
Very common story. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that I hate to
I'm not
sum
even
it up
saying
that
one
way.
hit wonder. I'm saying bands that didn't even get a one hit that are awesome and badass we don't even know existed.
Like Lockhart.
Yeah.
I played with Lockhart. Remember Lockhart?
Lockhart was great too.
Yeah, Lockhart.
Yeah.
I wish we
I
could
know
have got some
Brandon.
one-hit wonder money and just.
You've been all right with that, huh?
I do
You're
have
about 40 years too late.
I do have a
You're gonna
story
do
though.
la 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 in Spanish. You can do something happy.
I do have a story. On that last show, I tried to start a pit.
Yeah.
But it was the wrong crowd.
tell
It
them
was
what
the
you
wrong
did.
crowd. I
Tell
was
them what
drunk
you
on
did,
my
though.
ass, and
Tell 'em.
like when I started the pit, the guy turned around like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Okay, I stopped." And I'm like, and I tapped him. I'm like, "Shh." I gave him the shh.
That was my dad.
The funny tidbit I have about that
turned
show. though,
around.
my dad was standing in the back of that show, and some woman's mom standing next to him was like, "This is when all the people got on stage when you did your proposal and stuff." And this woman was like, "Oh my gosh!" She was like, "My daughter's on stage," and she looked at my dad and she's like, "Which one's yours?" You know, he didn't have the heart to tell her that. Oh yeah, my son's the bass player. He was just like, "Oh yeah, he's up there." I think.
I just remember I got you to do the fat fuck metal for me. You did this and like and then you got people to do it. You fucking did this.
It was fun, man.
That was fun.
You guys had
I
a great
remember.
run. You guys had a great run.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, as far as like, great Houston bands and stuff like that, Thee Armada was definitely one of the things that I can say that like I got to meet and know you guys and hang out.
Fucking passing drugs? What the fuck is this?
They're
What's going
passing
on?
Jolly Ranchers, bro. We're past
That's a
our
drug.
prime.
Give me one.
You don't want one.
I want one.
So and Sheldon, if you're listening to this, whenever you're in the Houston area,
Are we live right now?
Drop no.
We're not that advanced.
No.
But no.
Fuck
If you're ever in the Houston area, drop Paul, Rob, me, and Lion. Man.
Yeah,
We'd
man.
love to hang out.
Go some
yeah,
heel
absolutely.
fools, man. We'll do some fucking.
Josh can go fuck himself. But Brian, if you're listening to this, definitely like we'd love to get you on, get your thoughts on this and everything.
Love you, Brian. We'll miss you, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ultra
and on that
Cliff.
note,
we have a gentleman no class, right? Oh
yes.
no, is there any
Yeah,
more to
I
that?
guess. What? What's the
Well,
problem?
I wanted to say there's,
Go ahead. Final thoughts, Jerry Springer. Go ahead.
one last little
Jerry
thing
Springer,
with Josh.
final
There's there's no hard feelings with us and Josh or anything like that. He actually reached out to me this past year and we had a conversation.
That's
and
awesome.
Okay, that's
It
good.
was good to,
I hope he's
know,
doing all right.
just catch up and
Yeah.
So
All right.
good.
I just want to say thank you guys for coming all the way out here.
Yes.
Taylor,
Thank you for
Brian,
having us.
Mike. Yeah, thank you
been a
all for
blast,
taking
man.
time out
This
of
is
your
fun.
Not a problem.
your busy
fun.
Friday nights
know,
to come
yeah.
out here and hang out.
We all sold out. A lot of us sold out, have families and shit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the cool thing about
Like
this
everybody
is
in here,
it's awesome to see you
except
guys
for me.
doing.
Me too.
It's awesome to see you guys doing
Thank
so
you,
well with
Taylor.
this too, man. I mean, you guys were there in our inception as
Well,
a band.
yeah.
You were there through the whole
It
experience.
was interesting to watch you guys grow.
Yeah, so-
it was very.
Well, that's what we're saying. Like, we weren't successful with the band, but we're damn successful with the podcast. I think we're going to be pretty good at this. So, I mean, we're
So eat my dust, the Armada. No, man, that's great. Thank you guys for coming out.
we all have our talents and what we're good at, and like it was great catching up with you guys and hanging out.
Definitely.
Much needed
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
yeah.
we definitely downed some Buckle Bunnies this episode.
Shout
for
out
sure.
to
Yes,
Eureka
sir.
Heights Brewing
Yes.
again.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Thank you for the
Yes.
brew.
Thank
Shout out
you.
to
Mike-
Hit the
Mike was
Lights.
fucking- Mike with the
Shout out to
fucking
Hit the
shout
Lights.
outs.
I just
Sir, thank you, Mike.
I just
You're
keep
part of the
looking around. I'm
podcast.
Shout
so
out to
impressed
Jono.
with this space.
Yeah, I mean, like, let's, y'all want to record some shit? Let's get over here and record
Shout
some
out
shit.
to
you know what I mean?
Stiax.
Yeah.
Shout out to Evan.
Prim Cup.
Chris Gavin.
Shout out to
Ganny the gang. Chris Ganny.
Falling Angels Band.
God damn it! I want a Jolly Rancher. Who's hogging? Come on, Mike.
I'm the Avalanche.
Brian over here, who hasn't had a damn thing to drink.
Shellhammer.
Yeah. Kyle.
The motto of your podcast. Keep on sucking.
baby.
I do like that.
That's definitely coming up class style right there.
You're goddamn right.
Take the whole fucking bag. I'm not going to hold them out. for
Pass it
right
around.
now.
Pick your
you.
flavor.
All right, and so on that
All
note,
the classics.
And on that note,
all around, guys, I have been
Thank you
Jake.
guys for having us.
Yes. Thank you for
All around. I am
all
again.
around. We'll start with Jake.
I am Jake.
Mike.
And I'm Rob.
And I'm Brian.
I'm
He loves
Taylor.
poetry and
fucking
long walks
Paul.
on the beach.
And we have been Gentlemen No Class. Thank you guys for joining us. We'll catch y'all next time.
All right, love you.
Get you on the flip side.
Later.
This is a story about some boys from Texas who know how to get down, and you know we'll be the life of the party. So let's get this started now. The stories we would say when we were young, believing everything would be okay, fighting off those who said we were wrong. We're gonna make it someday. And no matter where we go, you hear us singing rock, shock, and love. This is how we do it, where we come from. Just get into it, hey! Or move along. This is how we do it, where we come from. Just get into it, hey! Or move along. I've got 2 barrels full with 6 shots each, only the finest at my side. Whether it's hot as Hades, like our southern ladies, where everything's bigger and everything lasts all night. We get down until the sun comes up. Oh, shock and love. This is how we do it, where we come from. Just get into it. This is how we do it, where we come from. Just get into it. Hey! Or move along. This is how we do it, where we come from. Just get into it. Hey! Or move along. Just move along. Move along. Just move along. That's a story about some boys from Texas